on this episode of Potages.
I gave up on the writing for Try being good, a long time ago, but I hadn't yet given up on the writing being coherent.
God. That would be a good twist. Just be like, this thing you assume is canonical because of this other metatextual element. No, just totally throw it out. Hakamon digivolves into Mako. We never seen them together, have we? I
need your password. You can use mine to get on the internet.
Potages.
Welcome to Potages episode T5.0, the Bane of our Coexistence.
Digimon Adventure Try Chapter 5, Coexistence.
Recorded October 1st, 2017. Spooky.
It's spooky because we won't release this until October 31st.
Probably. Spooky.
Potages is your critically nostalgic, analytical tour through the resurrected semi-animated shell of the Digimon anime. I'm Jeff Ruberg, and I'm joined by fellow homeostasis / Yggdrasil agents, Ashley McDonald.
You're a top bloke, Jeff.
I love you, Ashley Chan.
Exactly, thank you. Proper response. We killed Asher.
Our being who should not have been born, Asher Softman.
Shalom, Chaverim. Spooky.
I've been learning really basic Hebrew, so I understand that.
Oh, באמת? טוב מאוד.
Ha-a-ba-ba. That's all I can say.
Zion, Yofi.
And the lurking demiurge that was mentioned in the first episode and has not been mentioned since, Andrew Softman.
I'm randomly hearing the plot because it decided to finally add me. Randomly.
That actually kind of describes your role in this podcast.
Fantastic. We've done it.
This week, we're looking at the latest Tri-film, so here's a quick recap.
Anakin's force choking of Mako causes Meikumon to evolve into May Hit the Road Crackmon and go on her own world tour arc. The kids struggle to deal with their eviction notice from the digital world.
The kids sit around to recharge the animation budget before they get laid off from the digital world. Daigo saves the kids from government bureaucracy by bringing them to summer school.
The kids share scary stories like having to wait 10 months for the next Tri-film, and Yamato wets his pants. Taichi yells at Mako, Agumon makes her cry, and the Digi paparazzi watches in horror.
May Snap, Crackle, and Popmon crashes summer school. Jessamon arrives with holy choir music to prove how extra he is. And Alphamon shows up just to remind people that he still exists. Taichi sacrifices himself to save his new girlfriend and his old boyfriend.
Aww.
Is having to wait 10 months for the next Tri-film really a scary story? That actually makes me feel warm inside.
Warm and fuzzy. Asher will come back. Asher will have gone to Israel for one Tri-film, and then by the time he comes back, maybe the next Tri-film will be out.
Yeah, pretty much.
When are you planning to come back? In August?
June.
Oh yeah, it probably will be.
I don't know. Tri doesn't seem to be fond of anything from 02, so I doubt there's going to be a June.
Wow. So I do need to mention I, while preparing for this episode, made a Potages ebooks account. So it's a Twitter account. It's Podigi_ebooks. And basically the text that's been trained on is just the recaps from Try right now. So it's just spitting out random gibberish of Try things. And one of the tweets it made was, Hikari gets fertilized by incoherent plot structure.
Yes,
which basically describes this movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
I agree. Good job, Podigi ebooks.
So we foreshadowed a little bit. What do we think about this movie? Is it the best movie ever made? It's the best Tri-film, the best Digimon product, best
It's neither
animated
of those
movie?
things.
It's none of those things. It's not the best anything.
The best at being maybe the worst.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Like honestly, like, I gave up on the writing for Try Being Good, a long time ago, but like, I hadn't yet given up on the writing being coherent. I just was about to start complaining in Hebrew, but oh my God. Oh, I have to tell you guys, I had a dream about this movie after I watched it also. And in the dream, I turned it into apparently the last chunk, I guess the fifth chunk of this 4-chunk movie was about Joe. And I was like, and leave it to Digimon Try to make something that was supposed to be about Hikari, about a male character. And I was like, in the dream, as we were talking about it, I was like torn because like more Joe content, but at the same time, like, how could you do that to Hikari? And I still feel that way, except without the joy of having more Joe content.
Yeah, it was just Taichi, just feeling all the things.
I like that you like had like a feminist rant about a perceived fake version of Digimon.
No, like it was definitely something I said or like reminded myself in the dream to say during our podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, as I've learned from a thing I can't tell you that I've recently seen, watched, or played, because it would be a spoiler for that thing that I've seen, watched, or played, emotional truths, or fictional realities can speak to emotional truths more than real truths. I didn't say that
for some
but
reason, I feel like I know what you're talking about, and that makes me angry because I'm not going to get to play it for a very long time.
Not getting my PS4.
I knew it. I knew it was that. Okay.
Wait. Andrew would know, but I'll be silent. I partially am on that track because I was like, I went to like, I watched the movie, then played the end of that game to remind myself what good media was, and then rewatched the movie, and now it's disappointing. But anyway,
why did you do that to yourself?
I know.
It's not even like you had a dub and a sub to compare.
Well, Jeff and I did a flashcast, so we watched it very hurriedly the first time, and then we both had to rewatch Try.
Ugh.
So okay, that's an interesting thing to bring up though, because I think Ashley and I talked about it offline, but I think both of us enjoyed it significantly more on rewatch, which seems very counterintuitive. That's not what I would have expected after the first time I watched it. I was like, I don't want to have to rewatch this.
Well, that makes sense because the second time around, you actually have an idea what's happening.
Yeah.
The first time around,
no, wait, okay. No. When we watched it the first time, my impression had been, oh, I hated this movie. It was so boring. I hated the first 3 parts, and I thought the last part was the most redeeming. Upon rewatch, I'm like, no, it's definitely the reverse. The reverse is true. The beginning, the first 3 parts are like, okay, they're actually coherent. The last part is like, what are any of you talking about? What are your motivations right now? What do you want?
The motivations were the absolute hardest thing ever. Although I really appreciated the dedication to making Yamato afraid of ghosts. Like, that was super enjoyable to me.
Oh my God.
I loved that whole sequence.
Great.
I just had a flashback to a thing that I can't mention because of spoilers.
Okay.
Sorry, okay.
I'm angry.
I'm sorry.
I can't play it.
But yeah, no, okay. So I feel like the main thing that going in a second time gave me at least, was like knowing what to expect from the pacing. Like the first time I was like so disappointed by the dullness and not, because I think like waiting months between episodes, I like, go into it expecting big things to happen, or don't expect just like long drawn out discussion. It's also not just there were discussions; they felt like very circuitous, very circular discussions that like were things that had been brought up several times before. It didn't. Well, some of the things are definitely new.
And they didn't go anywhere. There was nothing resolved in any of these conversations.
Or it's like what resolutions there were basically like Digimon platitudes, like believe in your friend.
It suffers from setting up the next thing syndrome, which is a huge problem in like trilogies. It suffers from a lot of things, but that's one of the things it suffers from.
Yeah. I mean, I do think overall it is, it's at least interesting that the movie had a very, at least had a theme of coexistence and...
Did it?
So it's like...
I don't know. I think the Magic School Bus does a better job at that in one episode.
It at least raised the question of whether the kids could coexist in the digital world with Digimon. anymore, and that they're fighting for that ability to coexist. And it's like, but it's more that there are a bunch of little connections to coexisting, and no one of them is actually that strong or that resonant or explored in any depth. But yeah, there's like the humans and Digimon coexisting in the digital world. There's, Makomon, basically Makomon having a shard of a Pokemon and being placated by coexisting with Mako, like the Mako and Makomon symbiosis being what keeps them stable. The homeostasis possessing Hikari is kind of like that was literally homeostasis coexisting in Hikari's body, and Hikari, I think that was one important moment in this movie, is like finally having Hikari reject that and have agency.
Yeah, except then, we don't have like a real topic to talk about that, right? We can just talk about that now.
Well, I was gonna bring it up in my sacrifices.
All right, well, I'll wait. I have a lot of thoughts about this. They're all angry. They're all angry.
I have a lot of thoughts, and they're all angry.
Yeah,
I like it. There's obviously the Ophanimon Fall Down Mode and Makrakmon fusion thing, Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah, that sure happened.
Yeah.
Lovecraftian horror of a butt.
Lots of butts in this movie. But there's also the I don't know how much this was intentional, but I think it added to the confusingness and not being able to track conversations because everything sounded so similar. But there was, I think, we've set up these two big sides as being Yggdrasil and homeostasis. And when they're talking about the things that both sides are doing and their aims, I mean, what's been laid out to us before is Yggdrasil wants to get rid of the humans. Homeostasis wants balance in the digital world. But oftentimes when they're talking about what they're doing and their goals and objectives or whatever, they were very similar. And to a point where they're even the kids were assuming it was Yggdrasil rejecting them from the digital world for a while. And they're like, oh no, wait, it's actually homeostasis. Just the fact that they were confused and that it seemed like these two opposing forces. By the end of the movie, they are. If Offmon is representing Yggdrasil and if Jessmon is representing homeostasis, they were fighting each other. But throughout the rest of the movie, it seemed like they were kind of on the same page. And they're kind of coexisting.
Can someone remind me, when did Yggdrasil come in? And
question.
I don't remember at all, but I thought about it, and then I remembered it was in the Rio games.
I think Ash means into the movie series.
Try.
Yeah.
It never did.
Chapter 4. No,
okay.
Chapter 4.
So I've plotted out this history very carefully, very detailed. So it's in this... okay. So you remember the scene where...
Ashley was going to explain it to me in simpler terms than you were about to. Ashley.
So Sora's standing, and then Jedi tackles her, and then as the tongue is coming out of his mouth, Yggdrasil flies out of the mouth. And you miss it if you close your eyes to block out the tongue.
I don't know. There's some point in Chapter 4 where Jedi is I'm an agent of Yggdrasil, apparently.
Yeah. And I think that might be the number. I can't remember if there was a single... There may have been an offhand mention of Yggdrasil in Chapter 3, maybe. But but what Ashley was saying, Jedi definitely says that in Chapter 4. It's, I think, around the time that he talks about, Digimons are forever.
Probably.
Oh, my God.
But the problem is that I think it's very ironic now that we recently watched X Evolution, because I'm okay, now it's just X Evolution with homeostasis has been added as a thing. But otherwise, I actually needed the stuff from X Evolution to make any sense of why Yggdrasil ever wants to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird how it's Yggdrasil is being presented as with a huge curtain over its motivations or any. It's just it's this thing in the background, and is that going to be held for reveal in the Chapter 6 of what? I don't. It's
no. Yeah. I think that it's just fan fiction at this point. I seriously think Try is just Digimon fan fiction gone.
It kind of is. It really is.
I mean,
that's exactly what it reminds me of. This is not how I wanted the Dark Ocean to be addressed again.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And Mako is your self-insert character who you're I could be a Digidestined.
No, Mako isn't your self-insert. Daigo is.
Daigo's your self-insert.
Well, Daigo's my self-insert. I really like him now. and what's her first name? Maki. Yeah. Talk about your tragic. Oh God. Are we going to talk about Maki later?
We're going to talk about sacrifices, right, Ashley?
All right.
I'm gonna pretend for setting up that topic that Try is deep, and then we can tear it apart. It'll be fun.
How deep is your water?
So Asher, I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping this movie would have more Daigo because, I mean, this is a silly thing. I was like, this would be a really neat thing if it actually lines up, but I didn't expect it to. But, like the way you would title this, like if you're going to, instead of saying chapter 5, like the way you would say chapter 5 in Japanese is literally Daigo show. But no, it wasn't the Daigo show.
No, it was not the Daigo show.
No.
But I like him. Decided I hope he gets a Digimon back and,
his Digimon got rebooted.
True.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. It's not like so many of the things that Try doesn't answer. It's not like they're things that are like direct plot holes or direct, like, it doesn't feel like willfully holding information. It feels like we opened all these logical gaps and we just didn't bother to explore them. There are so many consequences and bleh.
I mean, it's very common throughout Digimon. It's so much worse here.
Yeah.
Although one that I liked actually was Meikumon having a shard of Apocalypse in her. And like looking at her bizarre chain things, I was like, oh, those make sense now.
But how could Apocalypse be a how could Meikumon have a shard of Apocalypse if Apocalypse died after Meikumon?
Nope. Refuted.
Nope.
So all the events of Adventure happened in around August, like between August 1st and 4th or whatever, right?
Wait, when did Meikumon come to digital world? I mean, the human world?
The only information we have is that the flashback at the beginning of the movie says 1999 fall, autumn.
Right, but she clearly knows Meikumon by then.
I mean, that's the only information we have, so I thought it was pretty clear from that we're supposed to assume it's pretty new. It's not like the day she landed, but it's around, like, I think the point of saying 1999 fall, like, I think it's clearly supposed to be like, this is after Adventure. And the way I've been interpreting that is that, like, because Apocalypse was supposed to be this, like, do you remember how they actually described it with the firewall? It was something like it came from beyond the firewall, which maybe is why it was such a existential threat and was causing and it also ties into the distortions that are being caused now are very similar to the things that were, floating above in the sky in Adventure once Apocalypse and the Dark Masters appeared. But it was definitely still Digimon. And the rules are that when Digimon die in the digital world, they get reborn. So I assume that, like, because of those rules, they couldn't just, like, I don't know, that either Apocalypse would get reborn normally or maybe homeostasis or whatever, like, try to avoid Apocalypse being reborn exactly as is. But the most they could do was, like, reduce it to a shard that would get formed to other Digimon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Data doesn't get deleted; it just gets reconfigured. That's something they say in Digimon at some point.
But wait, what about how Apocalypse dies? Don't they, when he tries exploding, don't they surround him with the light from the Digivices?
Yeah.
I mean, when has that ever stopped someone from coming back?
But I
think they do something similar to Venom Iodismon.
They did, and I guess he didn't come back, but that's not saying he won't.
Wait, no, he came back as Malamitismon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did it again when he was Malamitismon.
Well, there's this stage play.
He still has a movie to come back, you guys.
He does. Let's hold our hope.
But doesn't he come back in the stage play none of us have watched?
Oh, I guess that's actually... We haven't heard the stage play, Asher?
There's a stage play for O2?
No.
That's awesome.
For Try.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh.
Apparently it's actually good. People say it's good.
But what
Trust
happens?
those people.
Because Myotismon was in that.
Yeah, I don't know how that plays into the continuity or whatever. But anyway, lots of things to talk about. What I ultimately found so frustrating about this movie, like when I was saying the dialogue, that in theory, like 2.5 episodes of dialogue shouldn't be that much of a bummer. But what I found so frustrating about it was that it was like Mako gets so much spotlight in this episode. It's like it's supposed to be Mako and Hikari's movie, whatever. But it's like everything that Mako's going through is, like I said, Digimon platitudes. And it also just feels like such a retread of everything she's been going through the whole series. And like, especially since the end of chapter 2. Like, I feel like Mako and Makomon's situation has not changed since the end of chapter 2.
No, it was very frustrating to have all this focus on Mako when she was not progressing.
Yeah.
Super annoying. And like, was I the only one who felt like they were really pushing their heterosexual agenda? Like,
between Taichi and Mako?
Taichi and Mako, like, I wanted to root for Taichi a little bit, and like, I really do want to root for Mako, but like, they have no chemistry. Mako has much more chemistry with all the girls.
True.
All of them. even Hikari, who she's only talked to like twice.
Yeah, Hikari said like one thing to her this entire movie.
She had more chemistry with Yamato.
After Taichi gets dead?
Yeah. Actually, before Taichi gets dead. Like, as soon as Yamato went to protect her, I was like, that looks better than Taichi and Mako holding hands before. Like, what is this? What?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Ash's shipping corner.
I mean, even outside
Depressing shipping corner.
The Mako not progressing part of this movie, where it just feels like they're saying the same information over and over again. It's like they literally do that with other things. Like they have when they're running away in the digital world in part 2 or whatever, they're like running, and then Mimi's like, oh no, the ground gave way beneath us. Like this has happened before. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then they start running. Like there's a couple minutes of lull. They like talk, whatever. Then they start running again. Oh, they have a fight.
That was super weird.
They start running again, and Tucker's like, oh no, the ground gave way. I'm like, yes, you just established this is what happened. Why are you surprised?
I had paused in between those two scenes, just like because someone was talking to me. And I played it again, and I pressed play again rather, and I was like, "What is happening? What did I just go back in time?
Like, did I just go back? Wait!" And it's just like, no, try. You don't need to go through. Like, you don't need to repeat this dumb information twice in a row.
It really felt like there were a lot of different people. Like, as a role player, it felt like there were a lot of role players like trying to get their personal thing done, and none of them could agree what they were doing, and nothing happened. And it was bad. And like Taichi was like trying to do this one thing, and then this other thing happened, and it didn't matter. It's like that's not good writing. And
Wait, are you talking about like in the final fight?
Mostly that, but like even before then, like they're not going home. They're going to school. They're not what. And then suddenly, ghost stories.
Because it's summer.
If that wasn't somebody else coming in and just writing that, I don't know what that was.
my main frustration with the ghost story.
That was actually my least favorite scene, was this ghost story crap. I'm like, this is not funny at all. Like, you're trying really hard. No. You want me to think it's funny, and it's not.
My frustration with that was like, I think the general scenario setting up was fun. Well, like the idea that Yamato is really fun at ghost stories is fun. The idea that everyone's like whispering about him is fun. The idea that like all those things are fun and great about it. But then like the actual execution of that, and the Joe's story being about how like he failed a test and is like super scared about that, that's fun. But everything at the execution of Mako's story was just like, I mean, just like it felt like the animation and the writing on totally different pages. Like the anime, like we need to save budget and like save resources by only having a couple frames. Let's make them like act at like draw the most absurd, like they're overreacting faces you can, and then we'll write a great ghost story, and we can't write anything that makes them actually that scared. So like, oh crap, like nothing actually fits that. And because that story, and it reminds me of things where it's like the thing that comes to mind most apparently is actually, what was that story? That movie Stranger Than Fiction, right?
Really?
The one with what's his name?
Will Ferrell?
Right. The reason why this calls that to mind is that like that story was like premised around like this. He's going to write the most amazing story, and like you hear what the amazing story is, and it's like that's a pretty boring, mundane story. But in the universe of the movie, it's like this is the most amazing story ever, and like I just feel like I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it wasn't a great connection.
I disagree with you about Stranger Than Fiction.
Did you like that story in Stranger Than Fiction?
Yes, I did like Stranger Than Fiction. And I did see in Stranger Than Fiction, like, where the story was going to go would have been very, like, tied in really well. But I think also there are... what Japanese culture considers scary is different from what American culture considers, different from what British culture considers scary. So like, whatever. I just think the timing was not right for that scene. But if I had isolated that scene from the entire rest of the movie, it would have been fine. I would have accepted it.
I guess the thing I was talking about, like the make her retreading, the thing that really like put like the nail in the coffin, is that the saying?
coffin.
Put the nail in the coffin.
And it was right at the beginning of the movie is the fact that like it opens with, May Crackmon going berserk, which is like exactly how chapter 3 opened. So it was like, so did the last 2 movies matter at all? Like we're at the same point we were then, except now we're in the digital world. Wow. Huge change there. And for some reason this time it happens, a totally different outcome happens. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of cause and effect going on. There's just a lot of effect.
Well, this time Gattai said scary stuff and was kind of mean looking, so. Yeah.
This time, May Crackiermon didn't turn back to May Kumon when Mako just
When Makomon?
Makomon. That might as well be that her name. Appealed to her, whatever. I still love that. I'm pretty sure it was a recap of chapter 4, but I still love that Gatai's proposition to Makumon is, become this rage monster that will destroy the world, or I will kill your partner. And I'm like, what? You're gonna destroy the world that her partner lives in, therefore you're gonna kill her anyway. Those choices are dumb.
Yeah, I feel like the general pattern that reflects is that like so many lines in this movie are meant to like sound cool or sound threatening or sound like present some information but not that much information, and then you like analyze it any level of depth, like the depth of just like listening to it a second time and it suddenly breaks apart. Like I do want to talk more about that scene that we alluded to before, like during the final battle where Taichi's just like the whole sequence is just like what it feels like to me is that Taichi, because it's the whole thing where Taichi is they're deciding whether it's okay to kill May Crackmon or not. And which also on some level feels moot because it seems like Omegamon's losing to May Crackmon anyway, so it doesn't seem like they have the power to whatever. But assuming they had the power, like should they destroy May Crackmon? They're all like, no, she's our precious friend. No, we can't do that. And that's what homeostasis would do, but we're not like that. We want to save her. And then Mako was like, no, you should kill her. And then Taichi's just like, okay. But it's done with the way that like I've been primed from so many other pieces of media and fiction that like when someone does that and is like, cool, I'll go through with this, and is like doing it cheerfully without any kind of like foreshadowing or hinting that it's actually bad, that what they're actually doing is lying, that they're like, they have a plan, they're going to do something, like they were just pretending that they're going to kill the person. They're actually going to save them. But then everyone else questions Taichi like, no, Taichi can't do that. And he doesn't actually say what he's doing or what he's planning to do or not. They all start questioning him, and he's like, and then like at one point, like Koshiro jumps in to defend Taichi, but it's unclear if Koshiro is defending Taichi based on like, what does Koshiro think Taichi's doing? Does Koshiro is Koshiro defending Taichi's choice to kill Megamon, or Taichi's choice to secretly not kill Megamon?
I don't think Koshiro defended either of them. He was just like, shut up, both of you.
Yeah. I also, I guess I didn't think that Taichi had a different plan. I thought he saw that Mako was serious about her choice and was like respecting.
But then she doesn't seem serious about her choice. He's like, okay, I'll do it. And then she's like, runs away for whatever reason. And
okay, so I think it's like, I think
she was going to try to die with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's grim. What I was thinking was that like she logically was like, yes, I need to let her die. But then like seeing her in actual danger was like, no, I need to go protect her.
Well, yeah. I mean, it could have been that too. Yeah. Could have been a combination of both also.
But I find it hard to the grok that like Taichi, after yelling at her to be like, no, you shouldn't. I forget exactly what he says, but the reason that he like yells at her before leaving in the courtyard is about like not giving up on her. So for him to like accept that, I don't know, I don't know.
Then he has his whole introspect, like, I'm trying to be the person who's like, blah, 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 try is great. It gives them such good character motivations. Like, after he yells at her, he then has the whole, like, I wish I could have stayed the same as I was a child. Like, he has this whole moment of, like, ugh, I'm questioning myself. Like, what should I do? I wish things were simpler, blah, blah, blah. So, like, plausibly, I'm like, fine, he changed his mind. Like, he learned.
So like, that's the point of him, like he yelled at her, then like realized he shouldn't have yelled at her, realized like things are more complicated than his simplistic childish ideals, and then is like, but I just also feel like the way that for like a whole movie to be like, we will not, like, homeostasis' goal of killing Megamon is presented in a sinister, evil fashion. And there are obviously like other reasons or whatever, but like it's presented sinisterly. So for then to Taichi be like, with a smile, be like, okay, I'll go do it. It just sent so many signals to me like it's not.
Smile? I did not I don't remember him smiling.
Maybe I just
remember him like nodding and being like serious but also supportive.
Yeah, okay. I might be like exaggerating by saying the smile. It was more like it wasn't presented with a like, I'm doing this grim task that I'm like, there wasn't any man pain.
Well, and there shouldn't be, because it was Mako's pain at that moment.
Sure, but I kind of expect
you wanted
like,
man pain? Come on, get out.
I expect if he was deciding to murder his possible girl he has a crush on, if he was like tasked with like murdering the friend of the girl he has a crush on, that he'd be a little bit more like emo about it.
But his role, I think, I would also like to go back to his moment of self-reflection, because the end of that conversation was Agumon telling Taichi, you should do what you want. And he sort of simplified the conundrum for himself. Mako is the one responsible for Meikumon. She's the one most hurt by this, and she decided that he should kill her, and he was going to respect that because she's the one who knows the most about this situation. And as the leader, he heard the wish of his group, that the member of his group, that this actually really mattered to, and then put that into action. So I saw that actually as him stepping into a different kind of courage, a more adult kind of courage than he had before, but also going back to that root of simplicity, because courage is not something that's terribly, it's hard to be courageous when you're plagued by worry and doubt. I don't know. I'm not impressed with Taichi's characterization on the whole in Try, but that moment I felt a little better about him. I'm just so annoyed with all the like, no, we can't fight, blah, blah, blah. No, fight.
I agree. In the like giving Taichi that depth, I'm like, I think that depth is there. But also when I watch it, I do have Jeff's reaction of like, something about this scene is not correct, and the way that I've been trained to read the scene is that Taichi is lying.
Yeah, like even
and the
if
movie
they aren't
does
going
not
for that,
give me enough information either way to know whether that is correct or not.
Right, like, I would believe that they didn't intend it that way, and like accidentally fell into the trappings that make it seem similar to the other ways, ways that's used.
For me, I was thinking of, both times that Agumon turned it. I'm so mad that they didn't actually bring this up. Like, Taichi knows what it's like to have a corrupt Digimon partner. Oh my god! Doctor! And like, the only way they got Agumon back both times was by defeating him. So like, yeah, of course I can see why he would choose to fight and kill/defeat Meikumon. Like, he knows.
That motivation is not presented at all, though.
I know, I was so angry.
But also, like, but they never even like present the idea that like, is it possible to defeat Meikumon? Well, is it possible to defeat Meikumon and like not kill them and like let her like defeat her to the point where she reverts back, whatever? And they also like, I guess they mentioned it at some point as being a concern that never actually was a concern. That like if they fight, they might become infected again, because that didn't. I guess it kind of happened with the whole thing at the end, but
oh yeah.
But that was kind of separate.
I think that was different.
Yeah, that was different.
Little different.
That was a different.
Yeah, but like the main risk, because like I thought that was what made it a more complicated. Like it seemed obvious they should fight Meikumon. What seemed to make that a complex decision was if they become infected, and then in practice that wasn't a variable at play.
Right.
They definitely just say that once and then drop. Oh yeah.
Well, they mentioned it, so they covered. So they covered
their bases. I know, duh. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. I guess ultimately, like, I just find it hard to accept that, like, given how it seems like at other points in the movie, it takes a very like easy narrative shortcut. It takes narrative shortcut ways to say that, to make you like assume killing is bad. So for them to actually take a stance that like Taichi's decision, maybe I don't know, that like we're supposed to actually be on board with it. I find it hard.
Well, I don't think we're necessarily supposed to be on board with killing Meikumon. But for me, it felt like, okay, this is Taichi's moment of overcoming all that worry about the whole killing is bad thing.
But like that was collateral damage, wasn't it?
The killing is still bad, but like there are other bads, and he decided at least he made a decision, is how I feel about it.
I mean, it's annoying because the whole movie is about, like, we should not sacrifice people. And in the part before, like, right before they jump into the distortion, Taichi is running and yelling, like, we don't care if it's right or wrong. We're going to save Meikumon. Like, it's not about morality. And then it's like, okay, then you flip because Meiko is like, sure, you should do it. And it's like, okay, I'm okay with you killing Meikumon. Clearly it is not a good thing. Like, morality should play something into this. It kind of annoys me that you don't take that into consideration.
I guess for me, like, it still wasn't about right or wrong in that moment. It was him, sort of, it was that leader thing I mentioned before. Like, Meiko made her decision, he decided to execute it.
But I also don't think...
execute, double play!
Actually, I think that line, I think maybe reading too much into it by, like, assuming he actually threw off all consideration of right or wrong and all morals. I think it was just a cool line while they're running through the gate. Like,
no, that's dumb. That's still dumb.
We can't dismiss everything that gets said or characterized that we don't think jives as being bad writing. Like, we have to accept it as part of this work.
Yeah, like, you can't just be like, they just threw it in there because it's cool. It's like, they chose to throw it in there. That's part of his character. That's what he said. That's what it was translated as.
Okay, what I mean is that it is in character for someone to shout a line that is cooler than that is made to be, like, elaborate or exaggerated for cool effect that they haven't actually considered all the ramifications of. To say, like, I will defeat you at any cost, and then they're not. That doesn't actually mean, like, I will accept literally any cost whatsoever. I will pay you $20 billion and murder everyone on the planet in order to do it.
But it's also what we have to work with.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Speculation is not gonna help us here.
Speculation in the realm of tries just never gets anywhere.
I mean, analysis in the realm of try is not going to get us anywhere, but we're trying anyway.
Yeah.
Trying!
Try is really trying in
so many ways.
The many definitions of that word.
Do we have any thoughts on the animation this time around?
No. The same as always.
I'm annoyed because the people that have been like, no, try is good, were like, the animation in this part is good. And I'm like, no, the animation in this part for when Taichi is getting swallowed by the ground is good. That's the one scene that I could notice where they actually seem to give any craps about the animation.
I have one last thought about that. It's not about the animation. So if Jeff, what you have to say is about the animation, you can go ahead. Okay.
Oh, like, I guess it is about that one scene, so I should mention that.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, I do think that scene is... If the way you judge animation is, like, number of frames per second, number of, like, in-betweens and everything, like, I think it was the most fluid animation. But I think it actually, like, I don't know the technical terminology for any of this, but, like, I found it pretty jarring, actually. And then I went through and actually, like, paused frame by frame to see what's going on there. And the reason I found it jarring is because, like, Taichi's foot kind of, like, goes right in front of the camera for, like, one of the frames. So it's, like... when you watch it in motion, it's like this big, it's like a kind of like a blip. Like it feels like it jumps a little bit too much because like his foot goes from being like even though there's many more frames than normal, like there's a lot of movement and like it blocks the screen. And I think, I don't know, lots of frames, but like not actually great execution technically anyway. So Ash, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I really appreciate Ty getting swallowed up by the ground. That was a moment of like laughter for me.
Daigo got swallowed up too, though.
I know.
Oh, he did? I missed that.
They're fine.
They're
fine.
Wait, what?
Daigo goes to save Taichi.
Yeah, they both got
and then they both get swallowed.
See, I remember Daigo reaching out his hand and Taichi,
and then he was gone after that.
Yeah, he's not there after that.
Wait, that's perfect for my headcanon.
But since none of the kids care about Daigo, they didn't.
Yeah, nobody reacts to having how Daigo's not there anymore.
Like, they don't react.
That's exactly what I want, though.
What?
I want Daigo, Taichi, and Daisuke to get along.
Oh yeah, well now they're all in some netherworld dead area.
Well, is Daisuke there? Do we know that for a fact?
No, we don't.
We don't at all.
We just assume that they have gone to wherever the 02 kids are.
Oh, really? Is that what we're assuming? All right.
That's what I'm assuming.
It's
I'm hoping at this point.
Yeah, I'm like that is something that I probably getting my hopes up too much by thinking about it, by considering it a possibility. But it is like the answer that would be like, that would be really satisfying and surprising.
I think if we only have one movie left, like, we're just not getting the 02 kids, period.
They were in the opening with Demiurge. Where are those people?
Wait for the after the end of Try Chapter 6, it'll be like, and now announcing Digimon Adventure Demiurge, a new 6-part series.
It'd be like,
just
sorry,
in time for the 20th.
Thought it was going to be 6 parts, but actually there's 7. This one will come out in 2020 in time for the
6
Olympics.
more. No, I'm saying 6 more, all about Demiurge.
All about Demiurge.
It's
Cool.
like,
Because we had the urge to make it.
Demiurge going to prom. Demiurge, he lives in America, by the way. Demiurge. What else happens in American high school?
Hot Springs episode.
Yeah, we need a hot Springs episode though.
It's true. Need a beach
Demiurge goes to
episode.
the hot springs.
Demiurge at the cram session for the entrance exams.
Yeah. Demiurge and Joe study together.
Oh, sorry. Getting back to animation, I actually thought I was left the impression that it felt better than before.
No. It was.
I mean, so the things that really stand out are the use of still frames, which are still pretty egregious, they're still pretty bad, and we talked about there's like one where they're running from the cops, which is like, that's pretty bad. Not so terrible.
Cops running is so bad. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But also bad.
But the scary story one was the most like,
I mean, it's just whatever at this point.
Oh, sorry. The last thing to mention in the segment is it's kind of like what I'm calling the momentum of clarity. And like what I've seen a lot of people defend, not really defend, but like kind of like, I guess defend tries mysteries and, be like, you'll present a list of unanswered questions and they'll be like, those can still all be answered. Or you can like explain some of these things with convoluted logic that isn't exactly presented one-to-one in the show. And I think that's kind of like the frustration and I think a lot of people have about the way the series is presenting and not answering mysteries, is not that like they can't be answered in the last movie. It's that like it hasn't given us like any evidence that it will, or that like comparing, maybe it's unfair to compare it to Danganronpa, but for this concept of momentum of clarity, like the way a well-constructed mystery story like Danganronpa works is that like it prevents you a lot of mysteries and then keeps solving some of the little ones as it introduces more and bigger ones, and keeps like solving things as it introduces more and bigger and stuff. And so like it constantly feels like you have forward momentum. You're constantly solving things, and like there's still like an inbox of new mysteries coming in and out, whatever. But what Try's been doing is like presenting a couple mysteries, adding a couple more, maybe answering one a little bit through some deduction we have to do as viewers. It isn't presented to us directly. And like, so now it's like, it's all built up and we haven't like been moving forward through it at all. So it's like, it is possible the last movie is just like a key that turns everything and everything clicks into place. But like, that just seems like absurd at this point.
I think that's like literally impossible.
That's a lot to ask of one. Yeah, it's a lot to ask of one movie.
Especially if there's only like 80 minutes or more.
My problem with the coherence of this whole Try project is not the mysteries. I'm okay with leaving mysteries unsolved. It's that if I can't tell what's happening in the plot, like, what am I watching? I honestly don't know. It's not even a question of like who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. It's a question of what does each side actually want?
What are they doing? Why are they doing it?
What are they trying to accomplish?
Yeah. As of right now, in my head, Yggdrasil and homeostasis are the same thing.
They're not.
I don't care. They are the same thing. I don't even know what the Demiurge has to do with anything. Like, I think Yggdrasil is something that's like in homeostasis. Like, it's whatever homeostasis was based on in the old digital world, it's now based on something Yggdrasil related. And unless the last movie somehow clears this up for me, that's just what I'm going with now. I just don't understand anything.
So I don't know how much of this is like breaking the like contract of Try being the thing that you watch, but there is an infographic that explains the relationships between the characters and the sides and everything.
I don't care.
Yeah,
if I need a chart to figure it out, like, no.
Yeah,
Where's this chart from again?
So this chart is like posted on the Japanese Digimon Adventure website, and it's been translated by Withwell, by I forget who, but anyway, so it
I'm looking at this, and I'm like, Hackmon could very conceivably digivolve into Alphamon. Mysterious Man and Genai have the same profile.
Why do Daigo and Maki not have a connection between them? Like, they are the same organization.
I think.
Well, they're in a box.
Yeah, I think
together.
They're in a box together.
Okay.
I think
go back. To
look! It has a line. Same person between Genai and Mysterious Man. Why doesn't it have one between Alphamon and Hackmon?
Okay. So this is another thing that isn't obvious from just watching the movie, but like if you know the evolution lines and everything, Hackmon evolves into Chessmon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of.
Well,
heaven forbid something has a evolution line in this series.
God.
That would be a good twist. Just be like this thing you assume is canonical because of this other metatextual element. No, just totally throw it out. Hackmon digivolves into Mako. We never seen them together, have we?
I guess we haven't.
I also totally meant to say Makomon, but Mako makes more sense. So sticking with it. Like it says there's an arrow.
I think we have seen Hackmon and Makumon in the same scene, but.
Oh, maybe.
But very early on, he was watching them or something.
See, there's a clue right in this infographic because there's an arrow that points between Mako and Hackmon that says, once were united front, but now ? And it's supposed to be between the groups, but I think it's really between Mako and Hackmon because they are the same.
Absolutely.
This isn't a very good chart.
Yeah, this is not a very good chart.
The chart will have a link in the show notes so you can see.
Sorry to whoever made this chart. It's very lovely. I can see you put a lot of work into it. You just ruined my everything is the same theory.
I mean, that was just wrong.
I can still make a case for it. I don't care if it's wrong. Who cares what's right or wrong when your friends, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Who cares what is right or wrong when no one knows what is right or wrong?
Yeah.
Who decides the moral deciders?
Who watches the Watchmen?
Yeah.
Wait, Ashley, so you wrote down a couple like dialogue lines to show how like verbose and stuff they were, right? Do you have like a moment you want to?
Oh, do you want me to read Hackmon's?
No, I was wondering, is there a better place to? Because I have similar thoughts. I didn't know when to talk about that.
I don't know. Yeah. So again, I'm like, oh, this movie is so much better when you watch it again and pause and write down every single thing Hackmon says, and then you read it again to yourself, and then you're like, okay, wait, I got it finally. Like,
wait, no. I feel like actually, there's like a middle, there's like a sweet spot in the middle where they go, hey, got it, and then you think about it some more, and you're like, no, that doesn't.
No, yeah. Then
That doesn't make
then
sense.
you start thinking about it a little more, and you're like, but wait, I still have questions. That you didn't answer in that long-winded speech.
I'd like to submit some
Pause.
follow-up questions, Hackmon.
What? Yeah. Like, why can't Daigo ask the follow-up question? Daigo, do something.
Like, I mean, I think what's really going on there is just the basic, like, having, like, the reality of the situation is actually not that complex, but they want it to seem complex and confusing and obfuscated and, like, make Hackmon seem like a cooler, mysterious figure. So it's all couched in these kind of, like, convoluted, purposely obtuse sayings and stuff, and so, like, ugh. I mean, it's true of Genai too. So I guess they were like opposite sides, but they like one of the lines I wrote down was like from early on when I guess Genai is talking to Meikomon and is like, "You shouldn't have been born. However, I have been waiting for you to be born." And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? Like, who is the should? Like, are you saying like from like homeostasis perspective you shouldn't have been born? Like, who is what? Like, there's if there were a unifying like will of the digital world that would say you shouldn't have been born, that would be homeostasis. So like, are you saying that you didn't think what? No. Anyway, like should needs a perspective, and that whatever. Like it's clear that's what he wants.
Okay. Reading this dialogue is Daigo says homeostasis is trying to protect Meikumon. Hackmon replies, homeostasis only protects the harmony of the entire world. Like trying to refute him because he's like, now we're not protecting Meikumon. And then Daigo's like, well, didn't you need Meikumon for that? And Hackmon then replies, Libra has been unstable since its birth. And it's like, wait, why are we talking? Who is like Libra now?
No, Libra came up before. Libra came up
Libra
last chapter, I think.
Wait, why are they calling it Libra if it's the most unbalanced thing ever?
I think that's the joke, Andrew.
I don't know if it's
a bad joke.
Right, so people aren't aware, like Libra in Latin means balance. It also could mean book or free or man, though. So I think it's just saying it's a man.
It can mean man?
Yeah, like, wait, am I getting confused?
You might be.
I thought that was Liber.
I mean, I don't know Latin.
I can't think of any cognates that actually use that.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay, I still have the question of, then the professor replies, just saying Libra with a question. And Daigo's like, he means Meicoomon. But why doesn't the professor know that Meicoomon is Libra? What has the professor been doing? What experiments have they been running in this lab? Why?
Okay, I think the fact is that, like, the Digimon refer to Meicoomon as Libra. And
why does Daigo know that?
Because I think that was actually mentioned in the last movie, that Hackmon referred to, explained that Meicoomon was Libra in the last movie.
Yeah.
To Daigo.
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't know why the professor does experiments on Meicoomon.
I think the professor does experiments on Meicoomon just to the extent of, like, I am a researcher, there's Digimon here. Like, what is it? How do I
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I don't think that's the pressing question. But
so you should research something because it's there?
Yeah, what?
Right, that's totally.
I mean, that is the basis of science, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mysterious, like,
but
foreign object.
What is he trying to prove? Like, what is his thesis? What does he normally study? I know nothing about this man.
We're probably not going to find anything out either.
I mean, I think this is pretty basic, like, biology or like xenobiology. Like, I don't.
Why
think like,
does Maki care about helping him do experiments? Because she's using him?
Yes, because
she's using him. She wants to know more about Digimon so she can get back to the digital world and get her Digimon back.
Yeah.
This all is not seated well.
Okay.
Like, you can't just be like, there's mysterious...
Maki is the only one with really clear motivations in this entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I have more slam dunk absurdity BS lines. So Hackmon is talking about Meicoomon and says, it was outcast because of how much power it held. And then pauses, no, it was feared to be correct. What?
That didn't make any sense.
What? I read that line, I was like, that one just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, no, I think I get it. It was feared, to be correct.
Oh. Like, what?
They were afraid of it. They were afraid.
Oh.
It's not that it had too much power.
Like,
they were scared. I think that's what that means.
Okay.
That's the only way that makes any sense to me.
No, to be correct, it was feared.
Yes.
Oh, that makes so much more. Okay. That was just bad subtitling. Okay. The other
that was very bad subtitling. Or writing.
One I wrote down was
either one.
Hackmon. It's. I guess it's all from this Hackmon and Daigo conversation. But Hackmon says Libra has gone through a kind of mutation due to its protective instinct. And Daigo says, mutation? It's not an evolution?
Not an evolution.
And then
don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about that.
Hackmon says, there is no evolution that advances nothing and only brings destruction.
And I was like, what? That's not how evolution works.
Okay, whatever. You can, in the world of Digimon, you could say that, like, evolution is only a positive thing. It is only a thing that, like, advances things. It doesn't bring it to pure destruction, whatever. But, like,
that's
just
false, first of all.
But they just describe, like, his first line is that Libra has gone through mutation due to its protective instinct. And then he also says, it only brings destruction. So it's like, is it a protective thing or a destructive thing? Like,
it's protecting itself, but to destroy everything.
No, Meicoomon digivolved to protect Meiko.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it's not that distinct from a normal evolution. Like
anyway, it's stupid. That's not how evolution works. Yeah, I'm so.
I mean, I guess the whole concept of evolution is already so distinct from, like, the literal world. I
don't care. I still want it to have something in common with it.
Yeah.
My note after Hackmon's long nonsense is, this is a nice inversion of partners give you more power trope, I guess. Except it's just an info dump. It's not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's also a point, I can't remember what they were talking about, but when the kids were discussing things at the school, and, like, they're discussing homeostasis and Ninjaso, and then, like, I didn't understand what revelation they came to, but Joe was like, so that's why. And I was like, wait, so what's why? And they
Wait,
all kind of
what?
like, all the kids like nod in agreement.
I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wait, no. So I guess, so the context is that like the kids are discussing Nijasu and homeostasis, and they conclude that like it's weird that they both seem to have similar, like their goals seem to be similar right then. And then Joe is kind of like, oh yeah, so that's why. And then like, I forget who, but someone else says, oh yeah. So Akari like comes to the same conclusion, and they all pause as if they all know. And then like it gets interrupted.
I would have to watch this. I would have to
I have
watch
no
this
idea what you're
again
talking about.
because your description is not helping.
Yeah, it kind of just goes by because it left me with a, maybe I'm just playing too much Danganronpa, but like it, like that context of like being confused and someone saying, oh, that's why, like immediately sparks things of like, oh, the character knows something. They're going to explain it pretty soon.
Is that literally what the line is translated as?
Yeah. And
When
it's,
is
like,
this?
it's when they're in the school
In the
before they do
school.
the ghost stories. Might be like the
But
end of episode 2.
What are
I
they
think
talking about?
your confusion is not lending itself well to explaining this scene, so
Yeah.
like we can't place it.
Possibly. It's, I guess it's worth looking up later, but. Game show Gattai. This is, Gattai, if you don't know, is, I don't know what it actually literally translates to, but it's like a kind of fusion.
Combination.
Yeah. And this is going to be a hybrid of all the different game show things we have tried before in the past. And hopefully
Every time you
smoother.
change the rules on us, I just
See,
Okay.
I told you.
So here's how it's going to work. It's going to be, they're basically 2 rounds, and to choose who participates in each round, we're going to do a pre-selection round of Price is Right style guessing based on polls. So it's, I assume, is everyone familiar with Price is Right style rules, where like you have to guess the closest number without going over. So if the answer is 50% and you guess 51, wrong. And because it's close without going over, if I'm going first and Ashley's going second, if I guess 50 and Ashley guesses 51, then I can only get it if it's 50 exactly. That's how it basically works. And we're using, it's not money, because it's not actually priced right, we're just using the results of Twitter polls as we're guessing here. So I randomly selected the order for us. So it's Andrew first, Andrew, then Asher,
What?
then Jeff, then Ashley. So what this actually means is that people in the last place actually have the best odds, or the most advantageous position, because they can just +1 the last person or whatever. Yeah. So Andrew's going first. But the question is, Try Chapter 6, Our Future, has been announced for early summer 2018. When do you think it'll come out? And we asked this question on Twitter. So 72 votes, and the choices are June, July, August, or September or later. And I want us all to guess how many votes, what percentage were for August.
I'm going to have to say that July and August will probably have the majority. So let's say that together would be about 50% together. Or
Just say 25 or something.
You have the worst position. You're not going to win this, Andrew.
I know I'm not going to win this,
Are you
but I'm
saying
going to
25?
go with 29% for August.
I'm gonna say 40% for August.
Ooh. Jeff, that's me. I'll go with 30. Ashley.
Oh, with 35?
Wait, no, Ashley, you're not playing this game right. There's no reason for you to not pick 31.
What?
That's true.
The way this game, the closest is not going over. So, like, 31 gives her just as many winning positions as 35. Even more. So you're going to do 31?
She already said 35.
But, like, okay, fine. I'll put in 35, but that's not how you play this game. It's not cheating to, anyway. Okay. The answer is 38. So Ashley wins.
Aw.
I was close though.
That's not how the rules work. You did it.
I don't care. I don't care. I
Okay,
don't care who wins this.
Wait.
Digifood is going to be Ashley versus... Okay, we need to choose a second person. So now with just the 3 of us, which is the better cat Digimon? Gatomon or Mekumon? There were 114 votes, and we want to guess how many people... What percentage voted Gatomon?
Is Andrew going
81.
first again?
Yeah. Andrew, go.
81%.
Asher.
82%.
Jeff, 83. Answer is 90. Okay, so then I'm going...
Ashley versus Jack.
Ooh, yay. Okay.
This has never happened before.
Yeah.
That'd be tough, actually, to execute. Since I'm the mastermind.
This is what you get.
Oh, I guess I should say, so now we're doing a round of DigiFeud, and thanks to Patreon Dizzy for gathering data for us, since I couldn't do that if I was a possible participant. And so, yeah, thank him for that. And now Asher is going to lead it.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. The question is, what is the most canonical ship in all of Tri?
Bzz.
Jeff.
Taichi and Yamato. Do you like a ding ding or bzz?
Just for
do you
top
get a ding ding if it's not the top? If it's not the number one?
If it's any of those three.
Oh, you get a ding ding then. Ding ding.
Which one is it?
Which position?
Second.
Okay.
Second. With what percentage?
17%.
Ooh.
Taichi and Mako.
Ding ding. That's first place with 26.
Snaps. Okay. Snaps.
So you want to play or pass?
That's what I'm debating. I guess I'll play. I get 3 strikes.
One answer left.
There's one answer left. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay.
All right.
Mako and Mimi.
Bzzzt.
Damn, y'all are wrong.
Our listeners really need. They really need something.
You need to get your straight goggles off, man. Okay. Oh, man, what are even other pairings? Mimi.
Yeah, what are the pairings?
Right?
Mimi and Koshiro?
Ding.
Ding ding.
Oh, yes.
Ashley wins at shipping.
I almost said Mimi and Joe, and I was like,
it's
Joe has a
14%.
Okay.
Joe has a girlfriend. You are correct.
girlfriend. It's
Anyway, look at this. This is shameful. The only one that's okay is the second one.
okay.
Okay, so now...
Where's Hikari and Takeru? Come on, guys.
Man, I didn't even consider that because Try doesn't care.
Yeah, they don't really...
They, made a very slight effort.
In the beginning.
In the last couple episodes, yeah.
Okay, second round. Another selection poll. It is now...
Now
Ashley,
I'm in the worst
then
position.
Jeff. That's me. Ashley, then me, then Andrew, then Escher. And the question this time is pick a side, Alphamon or Jessmon. We'll guess for Alphamon, I suppose. 83 votes. Ashley, what's your guess?
Okay, so this just has to be on how cool people think either of them are.
Yeah, the question was literally
And
pick a side.
I don't have insight into who I guess people maybe think Alphamon is cooler, so I'll go with 65%.
Okay.
Maybe I have no idea. I don't know.
I'll go with 50. Andrew?
For Alphamon? 35.
Whoa.
Asher?
I will go with 51.
Oh. Correct answer is 57. That's Asher.
Oh! Aha! I felt like 65 is too high.
I have no idea, man.
So for the second participant,
why don't you just let Andrew go?
Why?
That we don't have to do the selection question
yeah,
again.
let's do that. Okay. In formulating these rules, not really think it through. I thought there'd be one selection. I was like, wait, that doesn't. Anyway,
This was bad. And let's not do it again.
let's tweak it.
I mean,
No.
you could just do one selection and then just, have the other two people do
that's
the next
true.
question.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so now we are doing another round of, we used to call it the newly sub game, but since this is
Oh.
potentially open for any two pairings, but somehow ended up with the same ones as before, I now call it prediction jurisdiction. Andrew, take your headphones out. So it's going to be, the question you're going to be predicting for Andrew is F, Marry, Kill, and the participants are Daigo, Maki, and Dark Jedi. What do you think,
Oh,
Andrew?
God. Well, I think he'd kill Dark Jedi. He would want to both F and marry Maki because he's nothing if not, incredibly straight.
Nothing if not
I'm
incredibly
gonna go with F Daigo and marry Maki.
Ooh.
But he might surprise me.
Okay. Now I'll call Andrew to come back. In the meantime, Asher, can you answer in the private chat to just me and Ashley what your pick?
That was fast.
Yeah, well.
Okay. So Andrew, the question I want you to answer for your own. How would you answer this? What do you think? F, Marry, Kill, Daigo, Maki, and Dark Jedi. I think I broke Andrew.
Wow. Okay. Wait, so this is the thing where I have to guess what Ash says?
Yes.
No.
You're doing it for
guess
yourself.
what you said.
Yeah. Just what do you think? Give us your honest take.
Yeah, so this is for you. You're not guessing what I guessed or what I answered. I guessed what you are about to answer.
So, F, marry, kill.
Maki, Daigo, Dark Jedi.
Great. Well, definitely marry Daigo.
Oh.
Ash already lost.
That's already.
Yeah, I did.
Actually, writes down in the
in Andrews.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just flip a coin because I don't know what I want to do with the other two.
Seriously?
Yeah. Wait. What? Dark Jedi?
You can't leave it a chance.
You'd rather F Dark Jedi?
The thing is, I don't want to do either.
What's
If
the
you
point
had to pick one.
Okay, so kill Dark Jedi, marry Maki. I mean, not marry.
wait.
F.
F Maki. Marry Daigo.
All right. Well, I got 1 out of 3 then.
Okay.
How do you
It's
get
really
one out
one
of
out of
3?
I thought you would F Maki. Wait, no, that's not what I said. I thought you would marry Maki and F Daigo.
No.
Okay. I wasn't. I was waffling on it.
So Andrew, what do you think Asher would pick?
I think you know my tastes better than I know yours.
Well, definitely kill Dark Jedi. And then the reverse, I guess.
Of what?
What I said.
So
Wait, what?
Daigo, marry Maki?
No, that sounds wrong.
No, that's.
I think it's the same.
Saying it out loud.
The same as what you picked for yourself.
Yes.
You think your brother's a copy of you?
Yeah.
It's true. You're right.
I would absolutely marry Daigo. I don't know. I'm sure. I actually would not really want to F Maki.
I don't think anyone
there's a lot of
should at this point.
Yeah, I think she needs a lot of time
Therapy.
to find herself. Yeah, that yeah.
Less guns.
More guns.
Less Dark Ocean.
So
Less Dark
Andrew,
Ocean for everyone.
Andrew, the gem you missed while you were gone is that Asher was like, well, Andrew is nothing if not incredibly straight.
Yes.
I was wrong.
Okay.
Although
so for that,
he's
Asher got
straighter
1
than me.
prediction right, and Andrew got 2. It's 3 thing, but it's really you really only have like 2 things. Third one always clicks into place. So yeah, I don't know.
Hey, yeah, didn't Andrew get 3?
No, what I mean is that like you can't possibly like getting 2 right is the same as getting 3 right. So it's really like
Oh, yeah. All right.
in terms of awarding stars, Asher got 1 star.
I think-
Andrew got 2 stars.
All right. Didn't the same thing happen last time Andrew and I played this game?
Probably.
Pretty much.
Was you were the one who got me and I got you wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it
Yeah.
works. I was like we should shake it up in terms of
That's
participants.
par for the course.
The chosen sacrifice. Okay, so I'm gonna be a nice person to try for 5 minutes.
we have a topic. No, we
Yeah,
have a
we'll
whole
save it for
topic
that.
dedicated to being nice to try.
Yeah, but I have to be nice
Okay.
in giving it
Okay.
credit
Okay.
for 5 minutes. I'm going to explain.
5 minutes? That's a long time.
Whatever. Okay. Don't quote me on this.
Okay. I won't time you.
So it's very fitting that Hikari's movie is about whether they should sacrifice one of their friends or not. Because, as we have complained multiple times in the past, Hikari's character basically is, I'm the sacrifice, I'm the person who gets possessed. She's the
Yep.
magical girl with none of the fun parts of it.
It's true.
I know. It sucks. Which was true for this movie.
Yeah, I was really mad about that. I'm still mad. All my
Yeah.
thoughts about this movie are anger.
Great. So like Hikari, in this movie itself gets possessed by homeostasis and then tells him to get the hell out of here, which is nice. Hikari has always been like, please stop doing these things to me. It never stops, but
I feel
Try.
like she didn't in like Adventure 1 that was like didn't even know that homelessness happened to her.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She didn't get to tell him to F off there, but now,
Well, right. What I find frustrating.
Just gender homeostasis.
Yeah, she has been repeatedly in the segment.
It's a dude. I don't care.
I think she's assuming because the villain it's a dude. Anyway, but I appreciate like her having some agency in that regard now. That's at least some kind of
Did she though? This movie ends with her Digimon getting taken over.
Yeah.
No. Her Digimon took over Meikumon, but that doesn't speak to Hikari's agency, really.
And also, like when she's like telling Homeostasis to kick the boot or whatever that phrase is. Like Dark Jedi is like they're hanging out in the little nether space. So like, who knows what's up with that?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
also,
anyway,
it kind of seemed like pointless by the time she kicked Homeostasis out, but cool. Hikari and Takaru are the only ones who've gone to the Dark Ocean before. Now Maki's gone to the Dark Ocean. Of course, the Dark Ocean would come back in Hikari's episode.
That I like.
Okay. Hikari and Taichi, I think her relationship to Taichi has always been like kind of sacrificial to him, trying to get rid of his guilt and whatever. Yeah. And I actually do like that Maki gets sent to the Dark Ocean, kind of, because all of this movie is about like who is going to be the sacrifice or what is going to be the sacrifice and why are they going to be the sacrifice. Maki's whole thing is that she wants so desperately to be chosen for something, right? So the Dark Ocean is like, hey, we wanted Hikari at one point to be our queen, but like since you so desperately want to be something, I guess like you can come and be our queen. But of course she has a gun. She kind of dropped it. I don't know. She got swallowed by the Dark Ocean. She's fine. She got chosen. Great.
She's fine. It's fine.
She's great.
Can I point out that she has the same hairstyle as Hikari?
Yeah, I mean they're the same character.
Dark Ocean's got a tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Ocean's got
Hey, Ken has the same hairstyle too.
Oh my god.
OMG. I'm sorry, the cat is trying to climb onto the chair and I keep trying to reject him, but he looks so stupidly cute. Get off, though. Seriously, go. No, stop. Oh, you're being so difficult.
See, that was a metaphor for homeostasis. Homeostasis was like, the kids kept coming into the digital world and it was like, oh, they're so cute. I need to let them in. Oh, no, yeah. I finally kicked him out.
Now he's just on my lap, I guess. Cool. Yeah, so then Meiko's whole conflict is, why was she chosen in the first place if it seemed like she was destined to fail? So in the end, I guess it's kind of like her trying to take back agency since keeps being like, I was chosen and I've done nothing. I had no power in this situation. Like I tried and I totally failed. So I guess her trying to say like, yes, go kill Meikumon is sort of trying to take back agency for that because she's the one who's deciding.
That rings too many alarm bells in my mind. Like the taking back agency at any cost, or just reminds you too much of like that's how people feel about committing suicide, or even like
well, I think that's on purpose.
That's what it's going for, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the reason I feel so uncomfortable with that right now is that like we were talking about how like it seems like Taichi was on board with that, and that maybe we weren't as an audience supposed to totally sympathize with that, but like it still feels weird for that to be like, it didn't seem like it was presented as like a corruption of Taichi's courage or anything. And
right.
I don't know if we're supposed to be going to the last movie with like the idea that Taichi was totally off track. I don't know.
I mean, he dies.
He's very dead.
He's just going to link arms with Daigo and Daisuke.
Yeah, okay.
They're all gonna hold hands. I was really hoping when Daigo reached out to grab Taichi's hand, that Taichi would reach out and grab Daisuke's hand instead.
Why do you want Daisuke in this movie so bad?
Why do you want Daisuke to come?
Because nothing in this series of movies has dealt with the concept of three, and all I want is like the three of them staying together.
Aww.
I don't think you're gonna get your wish, Jeff.
Maybe they'll all combine into one character with a triple goggle with 3 eyeballs.
I don't think that'll happen because Yamato has Taichi's goggles.
True.
Yeah. I think Yamato wanted those goggles the whole time. He took them very easily.
He really did. He was like, all right, Taichi's gone. All right.
Let's stand up and I'm gonna take these goggles. Like,
Don't apologize. He wanted this.
Goggles the whole time. Anyway, sorry.
Emma's line is like, don't apologize. He chose this. It's more like, don't apologize. I wanted this.
yeah.
I just feel like, sorry, this is a tangent off of your thing, but like I feel like the writing around Taichi and Yamato in particular is just like them going onto these like very male hero tropes without considering Taichi and Yamato's actual established personalities over 2 seasons of content. Anyway, sorry, we were talking about the girls.
Oh yeah, we were talking about girls for once. God.
Wait. So Ashley, like your comment about Maki wanting so desperately to be chosen that she was swallowed up by the Dark Ocean and sacrificed. Partly, I don't like. I see there's a thread, definitely a very strong thread between Maki and Hikari. That thread might be based on her hair, and that's why the Dark Ocean is choosing people.
Or it might be.
But what I find weird about that, and there are so many like they're both homeostasis possession bodies, and all that stuff, and like, but like I find it weird for like this to be explicitly like illustrating that she was like her desperate yearning to be chosen is what seems to be like what evoked the Dark Ocean, and that seems very similar to how it manifests with Ken, right? Like there was, I forget exactly how that played out, but it seemed, I recall there being some intent and some like wish involved. But with Hikari, with Hikari, it was like, if that's the pattern, it seems weird to, because Hikari didn't have any of that. Hikari was just like chilling, and then
Jeff. At least in the Japanese, she was going through some doubt about like measuring up to Tai.
I totally forgot about that whole angle. Yeah, okay. There was lots of self-inspection before. Yeah.
The people that are attracted to the Dark Ocean, it seems to be. I think Maki's motivation for that is a little. What she has now is a skewed version of the desperate need she had before. She wants to be with Bakuman. I think that is actually at the root of her need to be chosen. But I think also loneliness and the need to be validated often go hand in hand. So it's not like I'm refuting what you're saying. I think it's just like there's another layer.
I think, her intention was not like to go to the Dark Ocean and become its queen, right? Like clearly it still took her against her will, but I think it was because she's like so desperate to be a chosen child and reunite with Bakuman and all that stuff. Like that's all she rants about when she's there. So it just makes sense that like, if that's the theme of the Dark Ocean is like, you've been chosen either like against your will sort of, then it's going to choose her. And it's so frustrating with Hikari because I feel like the thing that gets sacrificed most with Hikari is consistent characterization ever. Especially in this movie because, there will be moments where Hikari is, this is not like explicitly related to this topic, I just get really mad about it. But like Hikari in this movie will be like, the digital world hates us. It detests us. It's like trying to expel us. And she's not possessed at that point. That's just her saying that because she has some otherworldly connection, I guess. But then there will be scenes after where like Meiko is sad and then Hikari will be very chipper and like try to cheer her up. And it's kind of like, Hikari, like, what do you want? Just tell me blatantly what you want beyond like homeostasis comes and possesses you and then you're actively in that moment like, I don't want that or whatever. Like, I just want to know what you want, Hikari. But yeah, I think it was interesting for the whole conflict of this movie to be like about why these kids specifically were chosen. Can they choose themselves to be the saviors, even if they failed at what others chose them for? And all of those themes. Do I think it did them well? No, absolutely not. I think I give it like A+ effort, F- execution, which could average out to a solid C-, I guess. Like, good job, try. You tried. Barely got average, I guess.
Yeah. I agree with pretty much all of that.
You have your own angry thoughts that you like to share.
I do. I'm so angry about Hikari all the time, especially now. This was supposed to be her movie. She's like barely in it.
Anyway, that's true.
I definitely, after my first watch, was like, were there any scenes with her? And up until the final moment, like,
she was there.
She had moments. They're not.
Yeah, and there are moments that I think are supposed to be bigger than they are. Like there are moments, like there's a moment early on between her and Mako that I think is supposed to be like a galvanizing moment for whatever, but like it doesn't play as that important or impactful or anything. So
it's because Hikari, people just don't know how to give Hikari presents. Anyway.
But she's the one that sings the Christmas song.
Anyway. So I get that. So this is Hikari's movie. And her crowning moment, I guess, is at the end when she, completely loses it. But as much as I want to be like gleeful about the show temporarily fridging Taichi, I'm never going to call him Taichi. Fridging Tai, I can't do it. I can't, because what I really want and have always wanted for Hikari, and what like the show has tried to give her with the Dark Ocean and everything and failed, is like her whole thing. One of her whole things. It's really hard with Hikari because she just doesn't tell you what she wants.
Things. Yeah, she doesn't. You don't know what she wants.
What she wants is to do what everyone else wants. But like she has had stated problems and really obvious problems that she doesn't state with like deferring to her brother. Everything is like, if it's what Taichi wants to do, then that's what they're doing. The dub gives her more spunk about that and makes her tease him and like, great. But at the core, like you said it earlier, she is a tool for Taichi to work through his guilt. She is literally a tool for the digital world to communicate with the kids. Like
she's homeostasis's like mouth, apparently.
And like that moment when she kicks homeostasis, it should be a moment of taking back agency, and then it isn't, because I mean, first of all, it's just really strangely timed, and also because Jedi is all like, oh ho ho, I have masterminded this, or even if he hasn't masterminded, it's something he likes.
He likes to watch it, at least, which is definitely bad vibes.
Yeah. And then she gets to go to mega level, but it's because she loses herself. Like, that is not, like, that's not what evolution should be.
Clearly.
Obviously. You don't want fall down mode, ever.
I think also what's frustrating about the Hikari kicking out homeostasis should be cathartic, but it's not, is that like, I mean, technically we've seen Hikari go through that with the Dark Ocean. Like, she's like, no, I don't want this. And it kind of seems like Hikari always just gets trapped in that situation again, where she has to be like, no, but then it's always drags her back.
And not only that, like she never gets to save herself. Like Takuro had to come and save her from the Dark Ocean.
Somebody here, like, save her here. Like,
it's probably going to be Taichi. Here, she like take over is a very powerful thing to say. It's a powerful thing to do, and like, I hate that. First of all, this is like fake agency because she's not herself. It's double fake agency because she's not herself because of something that happened to Taichi.
Yeah.
Third of all, it comes at the price of someone else's agency, which is, crazy Meikumon. Fourth of all, it's obviously a really bad thing. I just Hikari has gotten so stiffed. It's not that she's a sacrifice for the plot. She's a sacrifice for this freaking franchise.
Oh, yeah, totally.
100%. And, like, she already has a DNA Digivolve partner. Don't do this to Yoli.
Don't do this to Yoli. Yoli's dead, so...
Oh, and it also takes away Tailmon's agency. Because Tailmon was like, Hikari, are you sure about this? Okay, we're doing this now. It's just bad feelings all around. All of this is around girls, which is obnoxious. Just so over this. I really wanted to be happy about Ty getting fridged for a second, and it didn't happen.
Aww.
This is...
I mean, at the same time, it also is supposed to be Mako's movie, which is like, it feels much more like Mako's movie. But it also feels like Mako and Taichi's movie when it's supposed to be Hikari's. And it's like, oh, that's so fitting of you, Try. Good job.
Right.
You would do that.
You would. Wait, so who's left to have a movie? Yamato? And
nobody, no. The next poster is like a group thing.
Did Yamato have a movie?
First one.
The first one.
Oh.
It was Taichi and Yamato.
And the great thing about the poster for part 6 is that they're basically rescuing Mei from falling to her death.
Yeah. This is all of them.
There is one thing I want to call I don't want to say it's BS, but like I do want to call a question to it that like the fact that it's like happening to female characters is, I think, looking at the whole franchise as a whole, the fall down mode is happening to Kari's female character, because like I don't think any corrupted evolution has happened to a female character up until this point. It's always been male protagonists, and it's always been like the kind of like the anguish that only the male main character can have. And so at least
I wasn't referring to fall down mode. I was referring to the subordination of agency.
Yeah.
Which I mean
also there's been Sora tainted by the dark blackness. There's Hikari. Oh, but are we just talking about Try? No. Well, you were talking about the whole franchise.
But I was thinking more like because I do think there's still the level of the agency of the Digimon is, I think, in all of the dark evolutions taken away as well. But I mean,
Jeff is just talking about like Skullgreymon, and...
right? But the main character,
Skullgreymon,
it's also like it's a much weaker form of corruption, because it's like she basically just like becomes unexpressive, and then a thing possesses her, and that is her dark evolution. It definitely feels much less her own thing, and so it's like
right.
Yeah,
and again, it's because Taichi is.
It's gone. Because of
like
Taichi.
It's prompted by a male dying, basically.
Yeah, but
it is not at all linked to.
And it's also not right. It's all the other corruptions in this franchise. If we're talking about Digimon corruptions, have been a male character choosing something bad, while this just happened to Hikari also.
I feel like almost Yamato goes through,
and this also only like Meikumon is also a corrupted female partner Digimon.
That does not happen because of Mako. It's just like Meikumon just came that way. Apparently,
Apocalypse is male. Oh.
And like Mako is supposed to be the balancing pure force that keeps Meikumon in place instead of.
Wait, so when they say Libra, I don't think that means a balancing force. I don't know if
they keep calling it Libra, which makes me wonder if it's actually related to library.
Well, I guess that's also possible. But no, but I mean, like, Libra doesn't mean like, I mean, okay, it can mean balance, but it can also mean scales. Like, it doesn't mean that, like, what I've been interpreting Libra to mean isn't like Meikumon is the force that balances things, and more it's like it is the fulcrum point. Like whoever is in control of
but
Meikumon.
Mako is the one who balances Meikumon.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
That's what I meant.
But I mean, like I think we mentioned earlier that like we were confused about Libra and like why is it called Libra?
So that's not what we were talking about. But that's not what we were talking about.
It's just like their corrupt Digimon are very different than the male protagonist's corrupt Digimon.
Sure.
The reasoning for them is completely different.
And it's just like female agency is just such a problem in Digimon overall.
Yeah.
Well, to some degree, Takata
like the one with the most agency is Mimi.
It's true. Want Mimi's army to come back in part 6.
Yeah.
That should be what happens.
But it got rebooted.
She can recruit them again. She's fine.
Yeah, you're right. We can hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say Takata is kind of over the death of a fallen
But it's still him being like, I'm going to destroy you into the ground.
No, right. There's a big difference in how it's played. It's played like as like, I am so evil. Like, I have like gotten to this point. We see his progression. This is just like, I am unexpressive. Oh, and now things here. Okay.
Yeah. Also, Maki, corrupt. Something that happened to her. Not her choice. I'm just saying it's a little skewed here, guys.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Unchosen Children. I mean, this movie, I think the most interesting theme in it was the concept of the children making things explicit who they were chosen by, and then having that force decide, no, they're not chosen anymore. I, even though that was the most interesting theme, found it frustrating how clear what I just described, that setup is, I think, to the viewer pretty early on, and to the characters in the movie. It takes them so long for it to dawn on them. Like, they're like, you have to listen to so many conversations and then being like, what does it mean to be chosen? Are we still chosen anymore? Blah, 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 blah. No, you're our friend because you were chosen, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff about like what it, and like none of it like really like adds too much depth. It's all just kind of like random speculation. Like, we know that it's like, yeah, homeostasis is like, no, I have my own plan, because we see the conversation with Hackmon and Daigo earlier. Anyway, I also do find it kind of frustrating it's not really frustrating, it's just kind of sad, but just how things are, that the official subtitles have to use Digidestined instead of Chosen Children, because like every time they mention what they consider themselves, it is tying into that theme of the fact that they've been chosen by an entity who is now a character in the dynamic and a character they disagree with and everything. And I find that pretty interesting. They keep like, no, we are the chosen children. And it's like, but like the chooser is the one you're fighting against now. Like, that should really like inform your identity at some point, at some level. But Digidestined isn't. I don't know if you remember, but in the first movie, when the movie does not remember this, but in the first movie, Takaru had a blog where he was communicating with Digidestined all around the world, which is not a thing that anyone mentions at all anymore, even with these events happening around the world. But
no, they're not there. They're fine.
But
no one matters.
But on that screen, in the Japanese version, it said Digidestined. So Digidestined is a canonical English term used in the Japanese version. Anyway, I really felt the moment when Hackmon is basically explaining things to Daigo and mentions that he's working with the JSDF, the Japanese Self-Defense Force. And Daigo feels the ultimate betrayal in that. And like at first playing, I was like, I don't see why he seems so betrayed by that. But like, I think it is representative of homeostasis moving on, choosing. Like, I think there's something deep fundamental betrayal of the entity that has chosen the characters in Digimon to be choosing the military instead of the kids anymore. And for it to like, it kind of is like aging like the audience has, like the characters have, to be like, no, this isn't a task for kids anymore. I'm going to choose the military. And, this is, I guess, just Hackmon's own interpretation of homeostasis. So it's possible it's not really homeostasis itself or whatever, but, I don't know. But then I also feel like Daigo's anger in response to that, he doesn't seem so much, because there's two things. There's the fact that homeostasis is both choosing to kill Megamon and choosing to not use the Digidestined. And Daigo seems much more upset about the second one rather than the first one. Like, I feel like he should be upset about killing the Digimon, but instead he's like, but you're gonna abandon the kids? No!
Well, see, I think that makes sense for Daigo because he was a chosen child who was abandoned, basically.
Yeah, he knows what it feels like.
So
and
I thought that was
had to sacrifice his Digimon. So
yeah, like that makes sense to me. Like, I agree. Like, it's not the right thing to be mad about, but it's what he's going to be mad about. Like, it struck a nerve with him, especially since he's had to watch Maki like completely destroy herself over this.
Yeah. And he's like, I couldn't save her, is his main conflict. I guess why he goes to like try to save Taichi.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it plays well into Taichi's struggle of like, there are things that you only see that as an adult you can see that children can't see, and vice versa is true. And
I liked that.
Yeah, and him being in that teenage angsty gap where he's like, oh God, I can only see part of the things of each of them now. Like, what do I do? So he's still struggling with like, I don't know which should I choose here? Like, why have I? And it makes sense that, homeostasis would want to abandon children who are growing up and can see part of the things. And it's like, well, now you're of no use to me. So
Homeostasis, more like hormoniostasis.
But no.
Is how it is. because he's a teenager.
Okay, good job.
So, and like the final conclusion I had for this, like the concept and how this movie is tackling, how this movie tackled chosen children, is I see like two endpoints to this, the ideas that present in this movie. And they're either that homeostasis, current stance, the kids aren't chosen anymore or shouldn't be chosen anymore, that stance is wrong and they should be chosen, or the entire concept of chosen children is wrong. And I feel like the latter one is more in line with the spirit of Digimon and always has been. But like the way 02 and the ending of 02 handled that was like everyone is a chosen quote unquote child, and like so
that actually does appear to be where we're headed. What with the worlds apparently sort of mixing a bit.
Yeah, I assume it's not going to renege on that. I think it's gonna try to have its cake and eat it too. Like it will be like homeostasis was wrong, but also now everybody gets to be chosen.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to.
Yeah, but it would be so much more powerful, I think, to have this whole movie talking, like having, you know, like the things in the trailers of this movie be like that line about Yamato being like, it's not that you're a chosen child, it's that we're the chosen children. Like having all those kind of lines like in this movie for the next movie to just blow up that concept and be like, no, there are no more chosen children. That was a bad concept. It was needed in a desperate situation, but we don't need that anymore. We need to move on past that. But I shouldn't get any hopes up.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I know.
I've been teaching you that for 2.5 years now.
And you fell prey to it for this movie. You expected there to be coherence.
I guess I did. And I was sorely disappointed.
We have a Patreon submitted topic from new-ish, new like in the past couple months, I think. Patreon Tamer Theory, and their suggestion was 10 minutes where we can only say nice things about Try. I know it's a big letdown for fans so far, but there are some redeemable moments, surely. So I should start the clock?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, start the clock.
It's counting.
All right. The gay moments are very nice.
Can you list them?
Can I list them?
Movie 2.
All in movie 2.
Yeah,
with Miko and Mimi.
Oh, I thought we were talking about just this movie. Oh, okay.
It says Try.
Yeah, it
says
is.
the whole
It just says Try.
Okay,
I mean, if we're just talking about this one,
well, I think we should try and do a little bit of both. I wrote down things just this movie, but
I didn't write anything down, so it's fine. I'm just going off the cuff here. But yeah, no, there Meiko and Sora and Hikari all had a little hand-holdy moment, and that was nice. Oh, when Sora and Mimi were talking on their phones with their parents, they had a little moment, and I actually really appreciated that, because Sora and Mimi have, like, never talked, which is bizarre.
Oh yeah, they had their little like we're shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
On the phone thing.
We're supporting each other.
Yeah,
that was nice. Mimi has some great chemistry with all the girls, I must say.
Mimi has chemistry with every character that she interacts with.
Not true.
Who
is it not true of?
Tai.
Okay, I might accept that.
Takeru. Mimi and Takeru is a no-no.
Oh, wait, okay. I have a really, really positive thing about this movie.
Okay, great. Okay. What is it?
I think Ashley might remember this because I like freaked out a little bit while we were watching, and then she was like, "Of course you are deaf. Of course it's
Oh, right. No, I do know what you're gonna say now. I agree, actually.
It's so we see, I guess in like episode 1, I can't remember the exact placing, but episode 1, we see. Okay, first of all, I'll head you with a little negative thing, which I guess we can't say that in this. No negative things.
No negative things.
Episode, Taichi's mom. The Yagami mom.
Oh, yeah.
Magami?
No. It sounds like monogamy.
I know.
And I mean, she is monogamous, but as far as we know.
And the dad's not... just positive things, just positive. Okay. And she is like, oh, they haven't come back yet, but I guess they'll be hungry when they come back, so I'll make them food. And like, even before we knew what was going on, I was like, that's not a good idea. That's not practical. Like, that's not...
That's not practical.
You don't know when they're coming back. But then we see it later once I guess she's on the phone with them while they're at school, and she has the food ready. It's all wrapped up because she's not coming back, and they've already eaten without her. And then she's just like, wait, what's the exact line I wrote down? She's just like, hasn't it been a while? And she's like, huh? She's like, since your summer's been this lively. And it's like, oh, it's so sweet.
I thought it was really sweet. And I was also like, this woman really, this is not, okay, no negative things.
You got me, mom is good mom, okay? Let's just...
okay. Also good things in this movie are the, all the stuff, that the Taichi and Mako and Agumon are interacting in the courtyard, all the Digimon watching them and commenting and like wanting to report back to their companions about things. Right. That was great.
Should I tell Sora about this?
And then I Tentomon and Patamon being the ones who were in the dark, and they were like I assume Tentomon wouldn't feel natural, like wouldn't assume to tell those things because like Koshiro doesn't, care about girls on a conscious level yet, maybe. And Patamon, like TK just talks to all the girls, so like it's not news if someone's talking to this girl. So, and then also the conversation like after Taichi leaves, and then Taichi and Agumon talk, and like I feel like every line for like a series where like most of the lines are like but like every line of that dialogue between Taichi and Agumon was great.
That was a good conversation. I agree.
It was like sweet. It was funny. It was like executed perfectly.
Yes.
I enjoyed Agumon talking to Mako because it reminded me of Agumon talking to Blackwell Greymon, and I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote that down, and then I added my theory. Here we go. : Makomon is Blackwell Greymon? Question mark.
Mako is Blackwell Greymon. Actually, that's
a good theory.
That explains her butt.
Does it?
Right. Okay.
I must admit, I was more distracted by the fact that this feline creature had human boobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jessmon and Alphamon both had pretty great dramatic entrances.
Oh, I thought you were going to say butts, and I was like, you looked?
Yeah. Oh, can you tell us about the butts? Like, I want to know now.
I can't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I liked Alphamon's entrance.
I like Royal Knights fighting. It's pretty.
I kind of like this new Digivolution of Meikumon. What is she now? Well, now she's taken over by...
Yeah,
not that one. The one before that.
The giant Lovecraftian thing is named, but the one before it, like the mech one you're referring to?
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's been named. I think it's like another form of May Crack.
Really?
I'm going to call it Make Crackyermon.
Yeah, Make Crackyermon. I like better.
Make Crackyermon.
Because the next form, like after... It's confusing because the form that we've seen May Crackmon in like the entirety of Tri is actually May Crackmon Vicious Mode. And then I think May Crackmon itself evolves into... Oh, this is a Raguelmon. So I guess it's named like an angel. Is that right?
Well, apparently there's a in training and rookie forms.
Oh, yeah.
According to the Wikia.
Yeah, I remember seeing it where they were sourced from, because it looks like bad fan art of a palette-swapped Salamon. But, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, there's a form that hasn't been revealed in Tri yet. I guess like the Ophanimon equivalent. But, yeah, this the mech one is Raguelmon?
Ragwell.
I like May Snap, Crackle, and Popmon.
Yeah.
I've done some other ones, too. In case any...
Hey, Ash, it's another archangel from Jewish tradition.
Oh, is that what you said? I heard like Rockwell, and I was like, what?
Oh, no, Raguel.
Raguel,
well,
yeah, sure.
Oh, interesting.
There's different names that it could be, but that's the one they're going with.
Right.
Also, I wrote down May Crack Cocainemon, May Butt Crack.
No,
and
Jeff.
May Hard Nut to Crackmon.
No. We're allowed to say negative things about Jeff, right?
Yeah, I think that's allowed.
You can say negative things about Jeff.
All right.
I love Tri Takeru. Especially
I love Tri Takaru.
Takeru.
All right, especially
pre-movie 4.
His earlier years.
Yeah, his early Tri years of Takeru were good.
I've seen a lot of people passing around the image of him with the ghost stories, like when he...
That was great, actually. When he was just like
when he
super smiling. It was
super
excellent.
Wait, this is kind of a question. I'll leave it for the questions.
Okay.
Takeru's creepy face during Scary Stories was A+. I agree.
Baby Mako and Makomon in the opening sequence were just so adorable. They're really cute.
If you say
All right.
so. I'm sorry, that was a negative thing. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, no. If she had different, like, I hate when characters have the same hair.
You don't hate anything, Ash. This is a positive segment.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. Well, it wasn't about try, it was in general.
General.
Generally, I think that kids should have different haircuts than their adults.
That's how we get fascism.
What? Yes, I am going to become a fascist dictator and dictate that all kids should have different hair. Anyway,
Daigo.
no, there was
fun.
Daigo's cute. I'd marry Daigo.
This was the Daigo show in my heart.
Well, actually, probably next movie will be some more Daigo show. Probably. They've got some things to resolve with his story and Maki, and I think that's...
And the fact that he's dead.
And the fact that he's dead.
Right.
It's going to be the Dairoku show.
I bet he's going to have a pep talk with Tai in a cave.
I just want to say, I got an email
I was imagining.
on yesterday. I got an email from someone from my college, apparently, but like the name is Daichi. And I was like, is this a spam email just mixing Taichi and Daigo into one name?
Jeff doesn't trust it.
We are going to do a rapid fire and answer questions. I'm setting the clock for 5 minutes. I'll tell you when I start because we're going to have a lot, and then we're going to have lots of questions, probably. I have a lot, and we're going to try not to like try and answer things unless you have like a very satisfying answer or something. Otherwise, we're going to...
Sure.
Okay, 5 minutes starting now. Okay, what's with the white feather in the opening and the whole black feather, the whole claw marks on Mako's shirt, and then she's like, what? And then...
Yep.
And then
I don't understand.
She looks at Mekumon and is like, I don't see anything here. And it's like, wait, but what?
It was implying Mekumon killed a bird.
On her shirt?
What's hard about that?
On her shirt? No, it didn't.
No, but then Mekumon hugged Meiko.
Oh, okay. Why was Mekumon jumping between all the portals? Like, what was the point? Like, why does everyone question whether Mekumon's a Digimon? Like, what about Mekumon is like, oh, this is not a Digimon?
Well, the fact that they refer to it as an existence makes it seem like it's not a Digimon.
No, but maybe it's just like the wording that's being used.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like it was a story of Meiko's dad was explaining what happened in the lab incident or something, and then like from that incident was just like a Digimon caused damage.
Whatever, we're not going to get an answer for that.
Okay,
we're not going to get an answer for that.
Where are the 02 kids and Daigo and Taichi?
What is up with Ken?
I have a whole big question segment. Is Alphamon actually tied to Jostle/Jedi? Is Hackmon actually tied to homeostasis? Was Maki's reboot plan connected to homeostasis at all? She said it was, but then they seemed to be lying. Why didn't Hackmon intervene if it wasn't connected to homeostasis? How did Alphamon and Jostle survive the reboot?
No. I think they wanted because Hackmon says at some point, they're like, the reboot did not sufficiently suppress Mekumon. It failed. So now we must do this. So it did seem like it was planned.
I guess it was like one of the things where it's like, weirdly, the two sides were on the same page in this one regard.
Sure.
But still, it's like they're presenting them as opposing sides, and it's not clear to us because they're not actually opposing each other. Until they fight. Like, so the digital world was rejecting them, and they couldn't like stop because they were running between all the vines and everything, and then it just stopped rejecting them long enough for them to sit in a cage. Cave. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Like, what? When did that happen?
Well, Mekumon sat in a cage.
That was before.
What was going? So when they're telling the scary stories, someone is doing a thing with their hands. What?
Joe.
What?
It was Joe, and then it was Yamato. I think that must be some cultural thing. I think.
I had no idea what it was even.
Yeah, I don't know. Listeners, answer that one for us.
You know, yes. Please, I could not understand what we're supposed to get from that. What implication?
That they were scared.
Oh, you think it was them like freaking out?
Yeah.
I thought they were like making
warding off danger. No, they were scared.
Oh, maybe they were writing kanji, like writing something.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. The last one I have is just why is where was my fifth episode?
Where's my fifth episode of Joe content?
Why can they all digivolve?
Yeah.
Ashley.
Well, we're always asking that one.
Right, but like this is like it just makes the reboot seem like it was totally inconsequential for them.
Why? Yeah. Why did they bother? Like, not them, but like, why did the writers bother with the reboot if it wasn't going to have any consequences?
It's like I can see it as a like tactic to like, oh, we thought this would cure things. Oh, it didn't have much of an impact, but it's like it seems like it had like the
didn't do anything.
It had such huge costs for the kids. We thought it was such a huge monumental moment for the kids, and then it was like, oh yeah,
and it didn't.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. It's
they're
cool.
all the most important part. Oh wait, the whole them acting as like Digimon senpai to Mako. I mean, like, but like Mako had Makomon for like 6 years. The main kids like went on an adventure, sure, but like she's had like 20 times more experience with Digimon than they've had.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of true. If you think about
it is. It is actually true.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah.
Although they're not
storytelling.
I don't know if they ever are like 100% clear on if Mekumon is with Mako the whole time, but they do say that she goes crazy if she's ever separate. So I assume.
Yeah. So yeah. That's actually a really incredibly long time. That's the longest anyone's ever been with a Digimon.
And yet she's the one that's like, I don't know what it's like to have a partner. Like, teach me.
Well, I think her relationship must have been different.
Yeah.
Unanswered question. Why? What was anyone's motivation ever?
Oh yeah, that's a big important one. Like the fundamental of writing. All right, so we put out a call on social media when the movie went up, and we got a bunch of 3-word reviews, so we're going to go through them now. We're going to start with Twitter.
Cherub Pop says it was an absolute mess. Matias Troncoso, Mekumon must suffer. Canon Digidestined, time to die. At Cyforce, needed more time. I disagree with that one. At Zordomon, nothing interesting happens.
At Trevor Whatever _ I only need 2 F Digimon. Batista at Common Hope. I'm bad at reading. Understandable, but BS. Nate at Tomoto Yoshi. Watch Atmon instead. Dang.
That's not as much of a burn as it sounds like.
Yeah, Atmon I have heard is actually good. Yeah.
Atmon is it's very different, and I think if you expect it to be the same as other Digimon seasons, it's disappointing. But
I don't know. I think it's the best kid show I've watched in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Patramon Andy Lucas at Andy Dakota Lucas. Should have happened earlier. Digital Neos. I don't know how to say that name, so I'm just
Austin Graham.
Austin Graham. There you go. Asher can read. The ending Y.
Digital Neos or at Austin Graham.
Austin Graham.
We just said this.
Austin Graham.
Says Eva BSY.
Ava, but okay.
Doesn't matter. At Austin LC23 says boring. Cool. O. Or is it O?
Yeah, I thought it was a like.
Or
O.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
Shannon at the Shanza says rest in peace. At Jared and Jenkins says what happens next. Ryan Namdu at R Namhu says eating solves problems.
At Thunder Dreamon said confused angry noises. At Anime _brother said more like Mako-mon. I'm confused. At Free as my Fahad said too many emotions. Antonio Diaz at AD Diaz 4 said Matt's leader now. Spoiler. Nan at Ono said shoulda killed Mekomon.
At Shadow _Lilith 92 says Ophanimon fall down mode. Pal at Paulino Moreno _ holy effing shit. Oops. I had it.
She.
Oh wait, I think S word's fine. I think.
Okay.
It's good. Like if you holy effing, what would you say? Like holy effing S? What?
I don't know. Holy effing shoot, probably. Holy effing sugar.
Oh wait, I guess in the good place to say shirt.
Yeah.
Shirt? No.
Yeah, in the good place they can't curse because they're supposed to be in heaven. So like.
Oh, is that what that show is? Okay. Ha. I've seen gifs of it, and I was like,
very,
what
very
is
good.
this?
Ashley binged it in a weekend.
It looked hilarious. Now I know what it is.
It's very funny. You should watch it.
Yeah. I want to. I don't know if I can because some titles are not available out here. I should have watched Voltron season 3 before I came.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is Netflix not at all there?
It's here, but I cannot access Voltron.
Huh.
Yep. At Professor _Jiggy. Heartwarming, awesome.
Oh, shirt. No,
Shit is okay.
No, I don't like to.
Oh, you don't want to say it. Okay.
Yeah.
So pronounce it as like ito.
No.
Oshit.
All right. Well, now everybody knows what the word is, so it's fine. I never know how to pronounce this name. Stefan at .yawning. Only one left. Soul at Digimaster _Soul. OMG, that ending! Exclamation point, blah. There's no blah. That last one was an exclamation point, but I could not pronounce exclamation point at that point.
Ramon Castro at Digimon Fan for Life says, dark and shocking. And Remoto at Remoto says, everything needs explaining. Sid at Digimon Kaiserine needs more Kaiser. Well, that's biased.
Fitting review.
Yeah. William Francis / at Empire Will. Apparently Kari's movie. Yep.
Yeah.
Petramon Alvarado at Crimson 9660. It was meh.
At Agu Champ 3 tries good now.
That's an interesting opinion.
That's an entertaining opinion.
It means whatever you want it to mean.
Jackie Chung at Dorumiko said, became very dark. At Lion C. Falcon said, oh my god. At Agu _Monger said, too much Mako.
Why are people hating on Mako?
She deserves.
I think it's fair given how much of her story feels like a retread. And
it is too much bad writing. Also too much Mako.
But that's the thing, it's like, as soon as she gets the spotlight, it's the same thing we've seen before, so it's like, yeah. Nathan Hartwig at As Great as Nate said, Digimon equals Evangelion? ? CC Takado said, Toei tricked us. Stephen Reeves at Wildwing64 said, I liked it. Period. Rachel C. at Urba Yunrei said, no answers cited.
Also Petramon, I believe.
Oh, yeah. RS at Coconut Buyer, boring and bad. Steve at The Homoneurotic, Kari is afterthought. Yeah, you get it. At Lonely Distance, movie yet filler? ? And yes, they are also a Patrimon. Which is this May or Jay?
Probably May.
Probably May from Lost in Translation Mon at Translation Mon. Appmon is better.
Now we're doing Tumblr. Okay, yep. Tumblr. Zaya Mato - Ishida. Go away, Mako. Fantasy Fan Forever said, what the F? First Agent Adam, should I just say Adam? First Agent said, superior character writing. Net Lady said, total fanfic disaster. See, I find Adam's response interesting, and we had a Twitter conversation about it. I agree with Net Lady.
Yeah.
How I truly feel inside. One Ignis. What? Oh, is it Ignis? I don't know. I can't.
I believe it's Ignis.
Ignis.
The I is a
isn't one. Okay, cool. Angels didn't fight.
Hanzo's / Hana said, what the F? Random Mexican guy said, the ship sailed. Wichelny said, what the F?
Lots of what the Fs.
Space.
Tumblr knows what it's about.
Space / Butterflies said, not enough Hikari. Hoshizora said, where's my Hikari?
Exactly.
I get it.
Little Hobbit 13 said, still no 02. That kind of rhymes. Heat-filled Pop-Tarts said, effing called it. Called what? Aki Isari said, I wrote this. Okay, thank you. Person who wrote try. I wonder if they're like claiming that it's like, like it's fanfic level or something.
Fanfiction, yeah.
I had to choose one of these.
I
I would just read them all in quick succession.
Yeah,
So
just go for it.
Glittering Constellations said a quantum combination of 8 different ones. Mako Sobfest, nostalgia-based clickbait, LOL was animation, still no 02, terrible production quality, 0 character personality, 100% self-insert, high-budget trash. I should just impose all those things into one, say all at the same time, like the evolution sequences. Jessica Lilac Porter said, Agumon Taichi sobs.
Angelic Min Jung.
Angelic Min Jung said, where is Hikari?
Love is not over. Also gave us 2. They said, let May fall and kill Mary Sue's. I think that's very unfair. Ripley and Weeds said, make it end. Oh, there's another one from Love is Not Over. So many villains. There's like 4.
There's so many sides, and it's like...
Arcane... I hate this word. Arcane Demesne? Said, wasting Hikari's time. Word!
Facey booky ones are Erlon Q says, why more mysteries? Yeah, they only got 1 movie left. Trent C says, Ofanimon was covered by Jeff's cursor. Trent C says, Ofanimon was wasted.
Yeah.
Richard
she had a real drunk...
Yeah, she was real drunk bending, man. Richard M says, can't be dead. It's true.
Very true.
Okay, and now we're moving on to poddigest.com. Sakura Seed says, what the F?
The final what the F.
Seriously, what the F, people?
There were a lot of... Like, I think in every movie there have been a long contingent of people saying what the F.
It's true, but this one, there's...
This one went above and beyond.
We
Yeah.
should do a comparison. We should like chart it out for each movie.
That's on you, Jeff.
We also got some interesting comments from listeners on the Flashcast episode on YouTube. I wanted to read a couple of them that were pretty good. Eloquent descriptions. Which one? First one I really liked. Oh, okay. So the first one is from Takafumi Sakagami, and so I'm going to read it in full. I actually thought, so this is in response to our Flashcast where Ashley and I were pretty negative. Our gist was basically, it is boring. And Takafumi Sakagami said, I actually thought it was the best movie so far. Felt the most coherent, easily had the best animation, and had a nice chill vibe to it. Characters like Joe and Agumon are finally feeling like themselves again, and Tai's character dev has progressed in a really cool way. The only real problem with the film was the abuse of the sadness to group talk to Agumon LOL formula. They repeated thrice, but the third time was short enough for me to not get stuck in my irritation. Symbiosis didn't introduce as many interesting ideas as previous movies, but every previous Tri movie had so many problems that couldn't appreciate the ideas they had introduced. Instead, Symbiosis was simply a somber build-up to a somber future, and I like that. I really like the point out of like that sadness to group talk to Agumon LOL thing that they...
Yeah.
Spam it!
That was actually annoying. I was annoyed with that too.
Yeah.
Should we address the name change?
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned it at all, and like
I was confused for a sec. I was like, "Oh, was this another name for this movie?"
So had you only seen it referred to as Coexistence up until this?
I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember what it was called before I watched it.
So yeah, there was like the word in Japanese is kyosei, and if you look up in a dictionary, the dictionary definitions is symbiosis, union, and paragenesis.
Wow.
And so like the thing is that I think the Japanese word kyosei on its own is mostly used in a scientific context, but kyosei suru, which, you add suru on to nouns to basically say do blank, and lots of Japanese nouns, if you look it up, like it only has a noun form, but you can just say noun suru and it just has a very obvious meaning. But it seems like kyosei on its own is used in a very scientific clinical sense, and kyosei suru just means to coexist. And so I think kyosei on its own has this dual meaning where like usually when you see kyosei on its own, it means like this super scientific symbiosis meaning in like a biological context. But anyway, it's basic kanji. It's taught in like 1st and 4th grade, the 2 kanji. So like they're really simple. It's like together in life. So yeah, there was like back and forth for a while before there was an official subtitle. And what's confusing is that earlier this week, Toei announced there was going to be on Crunchyroll early. It's the first time it's been that early that's been announced. And in Toei's tweet, they said symbiosis, which is what everyone had been using because it's the dictionary definition or whatever. And then once it went on Crunchyroll called it Coexistence. So
I actually like symbiosis better. I like that. I like the clinical scientific feel of that. in conjunction with what was happening with Meikumon in the flashbacks and with Hikari being possessed by like everything.
I don't like that you go from reunion determination, whatever the third one is called, to loss to symbiosis. No.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and
I just liked it thematically for the movie.
Like before the movie came out, I was going based on like, if it's called symbiosis, I hope it's called that because it ties into homeostasis. Like they're both similar kind of biological terminology, and in the end, I guess so. Kind of. It was. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't directly addressed. It wasn't like, symbiosis wasn't really like referred to explicitly too much. I'm sure they probably used the word Kyosei. But yeah, that's the and like in our Flash episode, because the things before the movie came out had called it symbiosis officially, I still like thought it was called that and didn't even notice until like hours later that the thing we'd watched had actually said Coexistence the whole time. So
no, I pointed it out to you like a day later, didn't I? Like I was like, because I watched it on in a browser, so it was very easy to see that it was called Coexistence, and I was like, what?
I watched it on the TV where it didn't list the titles or something, and it doesn't really say in the movie itself or whatever. Anyway, more comments from YouTube. Gorgonfish said, I think Try would have been better as a TV series instead of 6 movies. Every movie feels like the characters stand around talking until the last part, where a bunch of unexplained things happen and then it ends suddenly. Who are the villains or what villains are on which sides? Dazed at Signface. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Legit.
Kevin Bennett said, could have gone for some actual action or attacks from literally any of the other Megas or Ultimates. They were just there to look pretty, but weren't particularly well drawn either. Ugh, I was so hoped to see all the Megas we gathered fight. Instead, we see 3 Digimon we have no emotional connection to, fighting Omegamon, who was awesome. The movie had a lot I enjoyed, but this in particular was something that probably ruined it for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's like the moment of all 8 Megas fighting together is like a thing people have wanted for a long time, and for it to like this movie to like here it kind of is. They're like technically all in the movie.
It's like Hikari Angelon doesn't even initially digivolve along with the others to Mega. I guess because you're supposed to believe that Hikari had just been possessed by homeostasis, so like her digivice doesn't work properly or something.
Oh no, I assume it's like she's never unlocked it before.
Yeah.
Except in the movie. Except in that
movie doesn't count.
Yeah. So yeah,
I guess.
But it
just feels like at that point she wouldn't be like, why?
It's just like I don't know.
It's not given the gravitas that it deserves. Is all I'm saying.
For it to happen first time with the corrupted form is not given much, and there's still like I think a lot of people are hoping for, because there's a whole like I think it's actually a pretty even divide between Holy Dramon and Ophanimon fans. And so some people, I think, are still holding out hope that the corrupted form is Ophanimon fall down mode, but the pure form is Holy Dramon. So, that
would make sense because TK's went to Seraphimon, right? Yeah. So, and Seraphimon was what he had in the movie. So, yeah.
But there's no other real choice for that. It's Seraphimon or nothing for him.
Shh.
The Bleach J16 said, who thought Mako as a character was a good idea? The last 3 movies have just repeated the same character beats. Also, why does the animation still look so wonky when we're waiting months for these? You can probably pick out quite a few anime every season that look better with less time. Yeah, I'd say it's not just time. There's a lot more variables to go into anime, but yeah, Mako as an idea, I still find confusing because it's not like I thought the point of having new characters in these kind of like reboot, sequel, like revival, sequel things was to sell merch with them, but I don't see like any merch with Mako. It seems like she's really not like a driving force merch-wise at all. It seems like she's really
her character design is not very distinct.
Yeah.
Distinctive, rather.
My problem with Mako is that, like, as we've mentioned, Takaru has had this blog where he talks to Digidestined around the world, and like they've seeded all these things, especially since 02. But Mako's not one of those people. Like, she's some special thing that was hidden somehow.
She was in the countryside where they didn't have internet, I guess.
But her dad is a scientist.
Yeah.
Scientists don't have internet. They are pure souls who...
Okay.
And,
I don't know.
Yeah. I think maybe now looking, like, realizing that she's the one character that's had Digimon for 6 years, like, that could be something about why they consider her special than the other Digimon around the world. And also the fact that she has Digimon now. They haven't like, I guess everyone's been thinking, like, the reason that the Worldwide Digitested aren't center or front of mind is that they haven't gotten Digimon. That, like, the main kids are like, well, ours showed up. Okay.
I guess, but there's no reason given for that. I don't know.
No, there's no reason for anything in this. So many answers, like, fundamental things like, why did the Digimon show up? Like, we don't even think of that as a question anymore.
Yeah, because we're just so fed up.
Like, that should make a huge lingering plot hole. Or, like, at least a question. And it's like, no, we don't even consider that a thing that needs to be answered at this point. So many holes. It's like we're walking on Swiss cheese. Ramon Castro
That was weak. You should write for Digimon.
Well, Swiss cheese isn't a good metaphor because it's, like, mostly cheese with some holes. This is, like, mostly holes. Anyway, Ramon Castro said, I enjoyed Symbiosis. There was a few things that took me by surprise, and I liked how the end credits after every episode has all of them watching the stars. It matched with the song. I have to admit, I'd never watched the ending song through.
You never watched it?
Whoa!
I watched it once.
I am normally a purist for watching the anime opening and ending every time. I think it, like, is an important part of, like, ingraining the experience of watching the anime in your heart and soul, but I just don't have time.
Yeah,
I stayed up all night.
I know. I figured. I thought it was okay. The ending theme.
Cute.
It made me wonder who the singers were supposed to represent. Maybe you'll watch it if you think of it as Daigo and Maki.
Ooh. But
There you go.
you know, it's the biggest tragedy of Try is there's no male character of Daigo's age to ship him with.
It doesn't have to be a male character. It just has to be a character that's not Maki.
I want okay.
I mean, actually, I'd be okay with Daigo and Maki, but, like, Maki seriously needs some help.
Yeah. Maybe he is the help she needs.
No, that's not.
No, clearly he's not. Like, clearly that's what we learned.
That's not good. That's not how relationships should be.
No. He can fix her.
No, we're out, guys.
It's time for the one use of the soundboard.
Terminal judgment!
See that last little grunt he does is us throwing our opinions into the void. Who's your MVP? Oh,
Mrs. Yagami.
For that, any final thoughts? Any last
No.
thought of the movie? No, nothing.
I can't believe I after I finished, I was the last one to watch this, I think, and I just went in the Patreon Slack. Or not the Patreon. Yeah, the Patreon Slack. That's what it's called. And just like, I can't believe you made me watch this with my own eyes.
Yep. Answers head.
Right.
Miss Yagami. The best.
I have one final complaint about the movie. That they confirmed that Daigo was the Goggle Boy. In the brief little flashback they had of him and Maki as kids, it showed him
he had the goggles.
Yeah.
Boo!
Yeah. that was our final hope in the despair.
Yeah. Also, Miss Yagami.
Is Ashley's MVP.
I think you mean Mamagami. Mamagami?
No,
Mamagami?
stop that.
I definitely
Stop
don't.
that. If somebody has one, they can go before me.
I don't.
Daigo, because at least he tried.
Hey.
He's the one character trying to make any sense of anything at this point.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I agree.
Switch.
I did. Well, I was like waffling between the two. I had Takeru written there for a second, but I always like kind of background like Daigo, but this movie, like, even though we didn't really learn that much more about him, we didn't see him that much more, it just made me kind of appreciate him more.
We've already seen him shirtless, and this time we didn't see any.
We've seen him shirtless?
He was in the onsen with them. He was like sitting next to them naked.
Oh.
It was weird for a teacher to do that with their students.
Yeah, that is weird.
I was really like, Daigo is what I wrote down, but then I was like, am I just doing this because in Japanese chapter 5 is Daigo show?
Probably.
But then I'm like, I like Daigo as a concept a lot, but I don't think he actually did much that I loved. Like, I feel like he was more.
Well, did anyone do something you love?
But it just feels like there are things I like more.
Miss
about
Yagami did a thing you loved.
No, I know. It's like she did one thing. And another stupid thing.
Which is more than anybody else.
Yeah, it was more than anybody else.
I almost want to pick Agumon for that conversation.
You can. Agumon was a very valuable player this time around. I just thought he wasn't written quite as well as he could have been.
I'm going with Agumon for diversity.
Yeah! Woo!
Okay, now we need to rank the movies, see where they stand now. And
this was really...
Do you want to see your ranking that you gave at the end of chapter 4? Or do you want to do this?
No.
No, okay.
I don't want to do this because I honestly don't remember.
Okay, I'm more curious. Then.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what Asher said last time.
No, wait.
I really don't remember this time.
Ashley, what's your ranking?
So I don't know if this is what I actually said in the podcast, but I did look at my notes from the previous chapter to see, and I was surprised at what I had done for the last two. And I don't know. I don't like having to rank these because, okay, obviously chapter 3, number 1, best movie still. We rewatched chapter 2 recently. It was kind of weak sauce. I think I'm still going to put it as number 2 though. Here's where it gets nutty McNutty pants. All right. I think I'm going to put chapter 5 as the third best Try movie. Shockingly.
Okay. That's not that shocking.
No?
No, I don't think it's that shocking because I think looking at I feel like, yeah, like our gut reaction to this movie was like, oh, it's so boring. But then it's like...
Soup's boring.
But I do feel like it was more coherent than 1 and 4. Or more interesting.
Don't write Ashley's answer for her.
Oh, I'm answering for myself too.
I'm going to get it wrong.
Wait, did she not say that?
She said 4-1.
Sorry, my audio cut out.
I said 4-1.
Answers are different. Okay, last time they were the same. Yeah. You swapped.
Oh, in my notes I had written 4-1.
Oh, okay.
That's why I didn't know if I actually swapped last time.
Asher, what's your...
You are expecting far too much of my powers of recall.
Well, no, I'm curious to see what leaves an impression.
I don't remember what happened in what movie.
Okay, what was your favorite thing that happened? We'll tell you what movie it happened.
Well, I know 1 is last. I know that much. What happened in 3?
3 is the one with Patamon and Sakaru.
And discussing the review.
What happened in 4?
Licky Jedi.
Licky Jedi.
I remember that, but what else?
Digital World is rebooted.
I think they were
Taichi and Yamato and Sora, have their
Is that
spat.
all that happened?
They fight Machine Dramon. I don't know.
That happened? I have no recollection of that.
It was only a couple months ago.
Takeru. Yeah, well, a lot happened. God. So 2 was the Mimi, and that was the Mimi and Joe episode, so that goes first.
Okay.
Better go first, or I'll disown you.
Yeah, so 2, 3.
As you still have 5 and 4 to choose, I guess?
Yeah, so I guess I'll go 5, 4.
I feel like 5 doesn't have something as horrifically unforgivable as Licky Jedi. Yeah, exactly. Like, 5 was a terrible mess and did awful things writing-wise, but I would rather watch that again than Licky Jedi.
So I was about to say, all of us have put down 5 above 4, aside from Andrew, who put 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, and then as soon as you mentioned Licky Jedi, Andrew swapped 5 and 4.
Yeah. And then I also remembered Sora getting beat up a lot.
Yeah. Machine Dramon kills her. So.
We all have different answers. That's uncommon. Usually one of us agrees with someone.
Ashley's a traitor and changed her answer from our memory.
I mean, to be honest, you could flip them and I probably wouldn't care that much. It's a real toss-up there.
I'm just, firmly against chapter 1. So, ugh. Ty and Matt, just ugh.
So yes, some trends among the 4 of us, all of us had 3 or 2 as number 1, and 4 or 1 as
and number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 3 and 2. Yeah, are first. That's almost true for 1 and 4, except Andrew has 5 in his penultimate. Okay. So now, since the final movie, I want to do a little bit of looking forward to the future of the final movie of Try. We have the poster revealed, and we have a link to the poster in our show notes. It's not a high-quality poster. It's like an
edited version of a photo.
But the title is going to be called Our Future, Bokura no Mirai. So that's the first time it's not just I think every title has been one concept, one noun with 2 kanji. This time it's, R something, and probably intentionally.
Like our war game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and it's been announced that it will be, apparently the most verifiable sources said summer 2018, but some sources are saying that the screen said early summer 2018. Yeah. So, any hopes, despairs, expectations?
Well, it looks like Ty's alive.
I
Big
seriously
surprise.
hope Ty has gone
Ash.
wherever Daisuke is.
What?
Look in the top left corner.
Wizardmon is there.
Is that Wizardmon?
Yeah. I don't know what else that could be aside from Wizardmon. I mean,
I'm
kids
so
are born.
happy. I'm so
Well,
happy.
But
It could also...
He's not near Gatomon.
I don't care. He's alive. And if he's only alive for one movie, maybe he'll survive. Wouldn't that
No.
be crazy?
Leomon didn't.
Leomon did, but that.
Yeah, what if he got rebooted?
Oh, wait, he died in
Who,
he died in the
Wizardmon?
real world. Wait, no.
Well,
Dying in the real world gets them rebooted. So Leomon should exist again.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Matt looks way more intense about saving Mako than Ty does.
Ty's got his hand reached out, and Hikari, of course,
Has her hand
grabbing
reaching out
for
to Ty.
Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So
Duh.
So, yeah, like Ashley said, I really do hope way too much. I hope way too much that wherever Taichi and Daigo end up is related somehow to Daigo. Sorry, is related somehow to Daisuke and 02 kids. Probably.
I think we're just never going to get our 02 kids back. I've given up hope.
Asher is the
No, what I'm wondering with Wizardmon there, maybe they're going to actually get into this whole like not Digimon yet existence that exists in the digital world.
You think they're going to tackle
Stuff.
that Wizardmon is like technically not Digimon? Because I don't know if they
That would be great. I would love it.
That would be cool. It'd be cool.
He'd be like, I'm actually just like Meikumon.
I'm from a series called Witchelney. Meikumon is from a series called The Real World. They are airing a series there called Digimon Adventure Try.
Yeah.
I am not
I
Digimon.
see
I'm a fictional
black
contract made for the movie.
feathers.
Oh yeah,
I
the
see
black
these black
feather.
feathers. We're going to address the fact that Meikumon kills things. Probably not.
Presumably, there's more to that than just like, oh yeah, she killed a crow in the opening. Like,
I don't know. Who knows?
Imagery, metaphors.
Yeah.
hopefully, metaphor has a meaning.
Yeah.
What's the thing in the very top left corner? Is that part of Omegamon?
that's the shield from War Greymon.
Hmm.
So yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So,
There's nothing else to see in this poster.
Yeah, and I don't know what to. I haven't yet resigned myself to like the full amount of things that would need to be answered for it to be a
Yeah.
satisfying conclusion.
They are not going to be answered, my friend.
Yeah, I'm wondering because maybe there are like 3 or 4 key things that could be answered in a way that's like, okay, I can see how everything else fits into place logically. I can like make my own conclusions. That's like, I guess, the most realistic. Maybe 2 things, maybe 1 thing. But I'm trying not to get hoped up more than that. We just have a question from a Picturemon here related to this. Tamer Theory asked us to pitch the worst ending for the movie.
All right.
It was all a dream that Taichi was having.
I think Ashley automatically wins. Oh, it was all a dream is the worst.
And yet I feel like it could happen. Like, I feel like that's within the realm of possibility.
Don't do that to me.
Or it's not a dream, you know, that, like, it will renege the whole story somehow.
Yeah,
That's
like
just my worst fear.
like some time travel thing will happen.
Yeah, it had
Like,
no
nothing
consequence to the actual timeline of adventure.
Sucks. Worst ending. We never hear about the O2 kids ever again. Is my idea of the worst ending. And Mimi ends up with a boy.
Yep.
Andrew, do you have a pitch for the worst ending?
Well, Ash already mentioned the O2 thing, but the Adventure Kids learn nothing from any of this. No lessons, nothing.
I mean, that's already the case.
So my question is, like, how low does the bar go? Because, like, what they could end up deciding is, like, we need to kill all the other Digidestined around the world. That's how we'll clean up this mess. And it's about...
That wouldn't happen. But that wouldn't happen. It should be something that would reasonably happen.
Yeah.
What is reasonable to try? They don't do the reasonable things.
They're not going to kill all the Digidestined in the world.
Okay. Like, no consequence whatsoever to the reboot. Like, they meet Wizardmon and he remembers everything. Like, they actually make contradictions in terms of connections like that.
But that's already a contradiction. Wizardmon being in the digital world is a contradiction.
Oh, you're saying since it was rebooted, the whole, like, he came from Witch Only is, like, not a thing mentioned in Adventure. So, like, I don't think that. No,
he did say he came from somewhere else.
He didn't say that was.
He didn't say he came from Witch Only. He might have.
I don't know about that.
No, but the issue with Wizardmon being in the digital world is because he didn't die in the digital world.
No. That's the whole point. They said that the only thing that fixes Digimon who died in the real world is the reboot.
Oh, right. They do mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Which also leaves the whole, like, Leomon. Remember when he tragically died and is now alive and you didn't bother to care to look him up at all? Didn't bother to find him in the phone book? Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like, not just a, like, unsatisfying answer, but, like, an answer that has to, like, contort itself so much that it directly contradicts something pretty blatant. That is, like, they're just sweeping under the rug and, like, forget this thing from chapter 1. That's what I worry about the most. But the dream would be pretty bad, too. In the wise words of Jaden Smith, who has recently ascended unto anime, Digimon Try, you don't deserve this big Toblerone. You can leave comments on this episode at T5.0. You can also let us know your thoughts on this episode, like why you thought it was great and you think we're trash because we didn't like it, or what you really love the movie and you are really frustrated we didn't mention. You can also send us your thoughts to Podages on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook, or podages@gmail.com. We also have a With the Will thread. We post all the episodes and a r/Digimon subreddit thread for this episode. Or you can just scream into the ether until you get a...
Go to the dark ocean and find us.
Desire to be a chosen children so much that you get sent to the dark ocean and then just leave your comments there.
Yeah. Special thanks to Rihanna, aka RW09, for the awesome Hikari and Mako artwork we're using for Try Chapter 5, and to our prodigious Patramon supporters who help make everything we do possible. Special thanks go out to our current champion Patramon, the infamous Diabjomon at Tokujo on Twitter, Dizzy Dizumi at Dizzy and Lost on Twitter, Joe Keto, Kailunamon, and Sam Kuwagamon, also on the Moncast. Our ultimate Patramon, Andy Lucas, we're going to Digimodify that when Jeff's computer is not dying, David Graumon, Michael Penne, and our Mega Patramon, Marcus.
You can follow Podages on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook for funny screenshots, the giffiest gifs, and info about upcoming episodes. You can also find us around the internet. Ashley, where can people find you?
At AshMcD00 on Twitter.
Asher?
Asher Dashery on Tumblr.
Andrew?
At Drew Softman on Twitter.
And I am Jeffling Jeff on Twitter.
Share the podcast with the friends you coexist with. And don't share the podcast with Licky Jedi.
And join us next time as we cover probably X Evolution. Might be not a Try episode. Probably X Evolution. Definitely not Sabers. I mean, because we need to do X Evolution before Sabers. But maybe Try. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, never stop Digivolving.
So